Morning, everyone. Morning. Hope everyone's well this morning after a disappointing end to the Brighton game last night. I've got to say, I'm sure we'll get into it. Just very, very disappointed at the result at the end. I've got to say, I thought Spurs played better, a lot better than what we've seen. There was a bit of effort out there, and as Stu says, a bit of intensity, but we just haven't got the quality, and we've got defenders making stupid mistakes, and Danzo was included in that. But I'm talking about defenders. Not how many times has this ball got to go into the back post and no one's marking anyone? There was 4 or 5 occasions yesterday. Yeah, and we got ripped with 2 of them. One come across the post, rolled across the line. We're not learning, and it's basics. We talk about basics, and it's not basics. They're obviously not talking to each other. Yeah. Porro's one in the first half. I'm sorry, right? But there's got to be communication in the defence. You can't give Matoma the best part of 15 yards and let him wander in, and as much of a worldy finish as it was, right, give a player of that quality space and time like that. We work hard throughout the game. A moment of magic from Simmons, yeah, a moment of stupidness to be going over like we've won the game. Yeah, I can understand he was over the moon. Yeah, I get it, right, but we haven't won the game. There was still time to go. And like I say, I get it. He was over the moon. Yeah, but I think it was a bit over the top. It weren't the last minute of the game. 13 odd minutes to go when that happened. So it is what it is at the end of the day. We just lack quality. We got nothing up top. We're relying on Xavi to score goals. Solanke, shit. I'm sorry, shit. Mawani, go back to where you come from, mate. You're not interested. This is relegation battle for Tottenham Hotspur. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Come on, what did he do? Paulinia comes on. Right? People say he can't pass a ball. I saw a bit of passing yesterday. Bentancur thought he was excellent for someone who's been out for 3 months. Yeah, best part of 3 months. Excellent. Bentancur played really well, obviously tired. But then we see what the drop-off is when people come on. Yeah, we went 2-1 up when there were some of the subs on. We also conceded the equaliser. The game changed when the subs were coming on. We retreated at 2-1. We just retreated. And it's all in the mindset at the end of the day. It's all in the mindset, and it all comes down to quality. All over the park, quality. Yeah, the mentality is obviously still not there. I don't know what to say about it. Yeah, it was better, but yeah, in the instances of, as far as basics are concerned, it was poor. It was poor. Absolutely gutted that we never won that game yesterday. Gutted. You look at the statistics. Like Nige said, 58% Brighton, 42% Spurs. You'd think they was, the predominant all-overs team. Brighton can play football. You saw when they got the ball, it's quite happy, pass and move, knock it 5 yards, move, knock it 10 yards, move. And they can keep the ball. They can take the sting out of the game. So we get ourselves into that position where Xavi scores that great goal. And I've got to say, Bergvall as well. He done his bit in that goal. He's got to nick the ball, yeah, off of the defender, and Xavi's cut in and scored a screamer. Fair play to him, right? Great stuff. Then what do? We go and celebrate in the crowd like we've won the fucking FA Cup, right? And we get stung 2 minutes from time because players ain't doing what they should be doing. There you go. It is. Look, I don't want to be the fella of doom, right? These players and the team as a whole, as much as it was better yesterday, are not good enough. And this is why we find ourselves in the position that we are now. That will not change, until the people upstairs realise that they ain't got a Scooby about football and that they need to get people in to deal with that side of the game. It looks like we're going to be doing it from the Championship next season. Yes, I get it. There's still 5 games. Yep, anything can happen. Spurs could go and win them 5 games, and Bob's your uncle. Before we know it, we're on 46 points. Right? But the chances of that happening are ever so slim. Right? And I'm not disputing that the majority of that team yesterday put it in. Right? But if they're putting it in and it's not happening, with 62,000 or 55,000 odd fans behind them for motors again, because I ain't seen those fans like that when that Xavi goal went in for a long, long time. And again, I get it. He's been frustrated. He's been left off the bench as far as he's concerned. He's in the game. He scored a wonder goal, and bent one in off the post. And he's over the moon. I get it. Been there. Yeah, not in front of 55,000, but I get it. The euphoria of it, I get it, right? But for us to celebrate like that, we're so long to go, and 12, 13 minutes is a long time in professional football. We've carried on with the game. We've retreated. We've let Brighton have the ball, and eventually that cross comes in, what we were susceptible to all day from either side. Spence is up the field somewhere, nowhere near. Right, the ball swung in, and all the Gaze has done is step back. He's just stepped back off of the Spurs defender that was in front of him. The Spurs defender has no clue what he's doing because he's not using his eyes. We said it last night. In between passes, what do you do as a footballer? That's when you're looking over your shoulder. You've seen the Brighton players released it, bang, I'm having a look. Because you know where it's going and you know what's probably coming. Right? And they're not aware. The slightest bit of movement from Brighton players, we've lost them. They've gone. Surely you people would agree that is basic. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. You can't work that hard to go and score a goal and give it away like that. Just can't be done. There you go. Everyone's different. Everyone sees the game different. That's just how I see it. These forwards we've got, right? They've got to go. I'm sorry. Solanke, Mawani, Richarlison, all of them. I mean, Richarlison can't even get on the pitch yesterday. I thought Solanke, first half, I liked a bit of what I saw. He was giving it the elbows into the defenders and standing strong. I like that part of his game. But what else did he do? He's trudging around the pitch looking like he's running in mud. Got no pace about him. Is he fit? Because if that's fit, Jesus, we're in trouble. We are in trouble. I'm sorry. I'm not just digging out one player. We ain't got forwards at the end of the day. If you ain't got forwards, how can you score goals? Big up to We Are Spurs TV. Hope you're well, mate. That's it, folks. That was our must-win game, and we tied. It's not Danzo's fault. We are getting relegated. It's on the owners for not doing anything in January. Lang has to go. He is useless and doesn't know what a good player is. Mate, they've all got to go. I think we've gone past this stage now. We've seen Spurs go through, like you say, the January transfer window. They got rid of Johnson, they got Gallagher in and got Sousa. Yeah, while we had 14, 15, whatever it was, out, and we can't even put a full bench out in one of the games. And we were so close at the end of the day. And it's concentration, it's mentality, yeah, it's talking. You know, Bentancur, Basuma, whatever, went off yesterday and it just dropped through the floor. We sat back. Wembers is in. Morning to you, Wembers, YouTube member. Morning, boys, and all in the chat. We were setting ourselves for that equaliser with those ludicrously over-the-top celebrations after Xavi's goal. There was still 13 minutes to go. Wembers, I've had my say on that. Sorry. You know what I feel, mate, about it? That they've got to get back to that halfway line. You know, have a chat on the way back to the halfway line. Lads, we're 2-1. Come on. 12, 13 minutes to go. You know, get your heads in the game. This is it now. This is the boost that we need. Come on, boys. No. Big up, Rodney. Morning to you, mate. I hope you're well. Big up to Stu. Good morning, Cookie. Yeah, we're all good, mate. We're all good here, mate. We just had a chill out last night. You know what it's like. You sit there and you still can't get the game out of your head. You've got stuff whirling round. Went to bed about 2 o'clock, up at 6 this morning. Just madness, mate. Madness. Well, there you go. Stu says, please like and subscribe to the show. Absolutely. Please make sure you all do. Thanks to Nige for the redirect as well. Appreciate it. Great show this morning, mate. As usual. Listen, Nige, me, and others that come in and watch our shows, and we've all got we all want the same outcome. We've all got slightly, probably differing opinions on how you get to that outcome and what's going on there. I might sound a bit harsher than some, right? It's because I want the best for me football club, right? Other people go at it from different ways. That's fine. Everyone's entitled to go at it their own way. But, you know, this is the 2 Mark show, and I'll say it how it is, right? You know my feelings on Enoch. You know my feelings on the squad. That I honestly don't believe it's good enough. Whether it's good enough to stay up or not, it is a, you know, as a whole, when you look over the whole season, you'd sit there and say, well, you know, we're probably mid-table, right? We've gone since bloody the middle of December without winning a game of football in the Premier League, which is a disgrace in itself. An absolute disgrace. And this is why I said yesterday, you know, I don't want to see the kids on the pitch. I want to see the senior players dig us out of the hole that they've put us in. And again, yesterday, the senior players were on the pitch and they couldn't do it. And it tells you where we are. And again, I'm not saying we were crap. We weren't crap. We was a lot better than we have been. Yeah, but basics in football have let us down yesterday. You know, everyone knows before a ball comes in, you know it's coming. Just have a look. Just have a look. We are Spurs says Xavi went nuts, took his shirt off and twisted it round his head like an helicopter. He certainly did. He certainly did. Big up to you, Logan. Morning, Cookie Chef in the chat. Big up, everyone. I'm absolutely gutted from yesterday's game. Yeah, listen, people look at it in different ways, Logan, at the end of the day. Right? I looked at it 2-3 weeks ago as must win now. Right? Now we've got to this point, playing Brighton yesterday, we still haven't won. So how many games have we got to get to, left to go, before someone actually pulls their finger out their arse? Right? Brighton were in good form before they came to the game yesterday. They've ended up leaving with a 2-2 draw, right? When Spurs yesterday, with a bit of quality up front, would have probably had that game out of sight. We're relying on a Xavi, yeah, because everyone else up front, you don't expect it from them. So we're relying on a Xavi, on an attacking midfielder to make something happen. And what a way is that to go about it? All because the forwards that we've got at the club are not good enough. And it's not just about them. It's not just about them. The midfield's been dreadful for most of the season. The defence are giving away stupid goals. I'm not just digging the forwards out. Well, when I look at the forward line, straight away, I'm saying, well, where are the goals coming from? Solanke, not good enough. Mawani, not good enough. Ritchie, on the whole, not good enough. You can't win games without scoring goals at the end of the day. Morning to Pagey. Hope you're well, Paige. Thanks for being in. Lee's in as always, and may the force always be with you, Lee. Yeah, hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks, Pagey. Finn's in. Morning to you, Finn. The moment they signal 8 minutes of added time, I turned off the game. I just knew what was going to happen. Nigel said the same thing, Finn. He didn't turn the game off, but as soon as they put up the added time, Nigel, on the commentary, he said, I think we're in trouble here. And he knows, Nigel knows, you know, you've got to organise. You've got to organise it in those short spaces of time. Yeah, they've cleared the first one. The ball's coming out, right? You know where it's coming to. The geezer either going to have a touch and bend another one in, or he's going to bang it in first time. From the time that ball leaves the fella that's passed it out to the bloke that's going to cross it, you might only have 2-3 seconds, whatever it is. Organisation, organisation, organisation. Not just run back and defend in a clump. It's basic football. These are professional footballers. Porro does it over and over again. Jed Spence does it over again and over again. It just winds the shit out of my clock, honestly. To the people saying we played much better, is the English Premier League going to let us stay up because we played much better? No, it ain't, mate. No, it's not, Spurs TV, because the ball needs to go in the back of the net to say that. And it needs to be kept out of our net at the other end to say that. Morning to Guy. Hope you're well, mate. Pete says, watching Nige finish his show and waiting here. Big up to you guys. Big up to you, Pete. Marios, good morning. That was hard to take. A sickening goal to concede. I think that's it now. I think it was it weeks ago, mate. To be quite honest with you, Mario. Weeks ago. Now, look, listen, a bit of effort, doesn't change anything at the end of the day. It doesn't change that you're not going down. That effort, that tenacity, that bit of what you saw yesterday should have been the same in all the games. All the games. Yeah, that part of it was much better than against your Arsenals, your Watfords, your Sunderlands, your Nottingham Forests. But if they'd have applied some of that to those games, now against a Forest, for argument's sake, when you're 1-0 down and still in the game and your head's up your arse, and again conceding goals at the back post. When are we going to learn? When are we going to learn? We are supposed to have international defence. You know, Spence is an international. Porro's an international. But none of them seem to be able to defend for shit. Speaking to Logan, big up, Stu. Jimmy says, big up, good morning, Cookie, in a chat from a sunny northwest. Yeah, the sun's out this morning. Jimmy, unfortunately, it's not out on Spurs at the moment, mate. I've just resigned myself to the fact that we're going down, and I just hope that someone somewhere does something to change the outlook that this club's got. And I'm not talking about the fans. In the club itself, you know, we all know Enoch don't give a fuck about the football. Yeah, it's all about the pennies in the pockets, right? They're going to lose a lot of money going down to the Championship, right? So do you think that they'll invest some of the money that they're going to take from players that are going to leave? Will they reinvest that back into the club? Probably not. You'll see little bits and pieces that maybe is just enough to get that team ticking over and get in the top 8 of the Championship. The sheriff's in town, turned up because I'm ready to blow a gasket, Joey Barton style. So, Sheriff, how are you, mate?
Again, mate, I do apologise, mate. I've only just woke up.
Shocking behaviour. Shocking behaviour, Sheriff.
I know.
The Cookmeister's been up since 2 minutes past 6.
Have you? Nice. Yeah. Well, I know you don't
know what it's like. You know what it's like, mate? You go to bed, right? Listen, we finished the show last night. It was about, I don't know what it was. It was early because we was going to go on for a bit, right?
Yeah, you was going on till 9, weren't you?
Yeah, I think people were so despondent. I mean, only Stu come in and had a chat with me for 10, 15 minutes and was sort of had a look through the game. No one else was about, and we decided to knock it on the head. So we go and watch the Spurs 5 and chill with the family. Probably gave me a bit of advice, as did Pete did, and said to me, "Look, Cookie, leave it out tonight, and you know, go and have a break, get your head around it a little bit, and come back tomorrow morning." But it's so difficult, mate. You know, I think I sat in with the front room with the missy. I fell asleep on the sofa. 1 o'clock time, I was asleep for a little bit, and then woke up and went to bed, and my head was still going round in my sleep, mate. Unfortunately, that's the only way that I can describe it. Woke up at 6 o'clock this morning. First thing I'm thinking about is, God, the missus looks sexy this morning. No, it's Tottenham Hotspur. And sometimes I think it is meant to be a release for everyone. Don't get me wrong. From, like Nigel said again, he's spot on, from normal life, from family life, from bills, from your council tax, from the shit that's coming through the fucking door every day. Do you know what I mean? We're all there, Nigel. Trust me. We're all there. Retired, I still get the same shit every day.
Yeah.
Right? But you know, Tottenham's our life. Tottenham maybe doesn't mean you don't support them and you're not a fan before anyone says anything. But, you know, some people are invested in Tottenham more than others. And I'm not talking about money-wise. Look into it a bit deeper and not just about the football. And listen, as I've said before, the people at the top that know nothing about football, and we all know Lange knows nothing about football. We all know Vino has a peanut head, right? At the end of the day, they haven't bought the quality. But this has been going on for years, people. You have to understand that this isn't just about now.
It's not them two, is it?
Right?
It's just
not about Frank. It's not about certain individual players. It's not about De Zerbi. It's not about Tudor. It's about the decisions that these people up here are making and who they're bringing to the football club, right? As already said, it's been a mishmash of players over loads of different managers. Yeah, and we expect De Zerbi to come in and go, boom, 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 boom. He can put square pegs in round holes, but if players can't do the basics, like mark people when crosses are coming in, then unfortunately you get what you deserve, and that's goals scored against you, and it's games that you're not winning.
Yeah.
Sorry for going on, but that's just how I see it at the end of the day. Go on, mate.
It was, mate. It was. To be honest, we were so close, and then one bit of sloppiness. Well, there's loads of bits of sloppiness in the game, but one real bit of sloppiness cost us. When you can't even mark players that are in the box. How many times did we see it? Someone was free, stood on his own, acres of space. Happens every week, mate. Every time we do a watch along, every time we do a watch along, and I'm on the damn thing, there's at least once or twice in the game we said, what's he doing now? He's still on his own. No one with him, no one tracking him. You know, I mean, unless Crystal Palace do us a big favour today, I think we've had it, mate. Because we just don't. There was good bits yesterday. There was some good bits. But it's just, well, let's, you were correct. I went a bit mad.
It's not about being correct, Mark. It's not about sitting here saying, I told you so, right? I don't want Tottenham to go down. Do you know what I mean? It's not about that, but the signs were there even before the transfer window in January. How many times on this channel, and in WhatsApp groups and everything else, have we had conversations and said, it ain't good enough, Mark. We're going down. Yeah. We're going down. And if we hit that bottom three, have we got the nuts to get out of it? Well, we've hit the bottom three. You said that. And now let's see what happens with 5 games to go. Let's see what happens. But it's not about being right, Mark. It's not. It's not about sitting here saying, I told you so. It's about looking deeper into it, about what's going on. It's not all about the pitch. And let's get it right. To us, to football fans, it's about what goes on the pitch. Yeah. But let me tell all of you, right? And I'll tell all of you right now, these pricks up here, right? They're the ones that buy the players. They're the ones that put them out on the pitch, or they employ managers to put them out on the pitch, right? It's been disgusting from them for a long, long time.
Yeah, I was just about to say, mate.
When Levy was here, when he's not here, whatever, right? This club has been on a steady decline for a long, long time. And now we've finally got to the point, right, where it looks like Spurs are going to go down, right? Yeah. It might hurt them in their pocket, but it don't hurt their pocket as much as it hurts me, him, all you lot in here. Because we are the fans.
Apart from Pete. It won't hurt Pete.
Do you know what? Pete's an Arsenal fan, mate.
Yeah,
I've seen many a comment in here.
Yeah, so have I.
From Pete that said he's gutted for us. He's gutted for us. As an Arsenal fan, right? In Nigel's chat earlier on, right? Whether he's an Arsenal fan or not, it's all a bit of banter. Don't get me wrong.
I know. That's why I
Pete
said it.
I've never seen basically anything like it.
No.
From a Tottenham Hotspur team. Yeah. It is a disgrace, and we should be doing a lot better. And he feels for us as fans.
The thing is, mate, as I've said many times, we got the highest income of any Premier League team. With all the nonsense that goes on there, the boxing, the NFL, the rugby, the go-karting, all sorts. Whatever goes on there, we got a hell of an income. And for us to be 18th in the table is a disgrace. there's no reason we can't be up near the top if the club was run properly. And, all right, Vinay and Lange get a lot of stick, but they're just the ones there now. This has been going on for years, mate. What have they been here? A couple of years? What's Vinay and Lange been in? 2 years, 3 years, maybe? And you know, it's been going on for years. It's been going on for years, mate. There's no interest in making us successful. None whatsoever. They were just happy with us being relevant, you know, maybe getting Champions League. Well, if we got Champions League, they were over the moon with it. And they wouldn't do anything to push us on. They wouldn't spend the money to make us better. They'd just be happy with it. No. And now, you know, you reap what you sow. And the investment in the team has not been there. And it's come back this season. Last season was a warning when we finished 17th.
I'm fed up, Mark. I'm fed up of us going and buying players that have got a year left on their contract.
Oh, yeah.
So from teams that are being relegated or whatever, right? Go and buy some proper fucking players. Spend the money once. Don't spend it 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. Spurs are one of the biggest spenders, right, of everyone, right? I said it months ago, right, and I called him out, right, this chief scout and Mackenzie, right, come and sit here and do my job and I'll come and do your job. And I'll guarantee you that I will find the players that you fucking can't, mate, because you're sending us down over your shit scouting. Absolute wanker. All of you.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. We're Tottenham Hotspur. We shouldn't be where we are now. And because of these dickheads upstairs giving it the fucking shit fucking people that we're signing, do me a favour. And if people can't see it, this has been going on for bloody years. And it's wrong. I've seen a comment here. Phil, yeah, he is a wing-back, Phil, but he's in the team to be a right-back, right? If you can't do it, buy someone that can be a right-back.
Mm-hmm. Do you know, I didn't see that comment, but I was going to say, how many right backs have we had since Kyle Walker? And none of them are not fit enough to lace his boots. We've never replaced Kyle Walker. We got Matey in, it was at Newcastle when he was injured all the time. Can't remember his name. He had injections in his ankle and that.
Oh, yeah, go on, mate. Go on.
Yeah, but like, you look how many right backs we've bought. Porro's a wing back. Correct, he is. He can't defend. He's not too bad going forward. He's not too bad, but he's not what we need. He's not. And yet he's the best we got, so he's got to play. The neglect of the squad has been going on for years, mate. You look where we went from. We've gone from Sonny and Kane to 3 people now who couldn't even hit a barn door. They're useless. All of them. Absolutely useless.
I wouldn't tell you about. I wouldn't piss on none of them if they was on fire. I can't believe that we've got Richie, Solanke, and Mawani
useless
as our 3 forwards.
Useless. All of them, mate. All of them. They're probably the worst front 3 I've ever seen at the club, because we've had some good strikers over the years.
Yeah.
You know, and they're just dreadful. They couldn't finish their dinner. You know what I'm saying?
Couldn't sort a bag of chips, none of them.
No.
Sorry, I've gone right down the bottom of the chat there, I think. Anyway, I might not have done, but there you go, Phil. Cookie morning, mate. By the time you get to read my comment, you're most likely going to be playing Charlton away. Vindaloo. I'll quite happily call you in front of anyone, you slag. All right, there you go. Have some of that. Charlton away. Don't forget to try out the Yum Yum Yonder burger van. Big up to you, Vinders. Listen, mate, it could be happening. It could be happening.
It's looking like it now.
The Millwall frackers could be happening again as well. Do you know what I mean? Oh, Dave, the 80s might be coming back. Oh, morning to you, Claire. She sounds so gutted. But when I see 8 minutes, I've got an horrible feeling. I've seen it too many times.
It was just the basics of football, though, where you conceded. No one picking up. No one marking.
Yeah. Mark, don't get me on the marking, Mark. Mark, you saw yesterday, right? There was at least 4 or 5 occasions when a ball was either swung in, not from a corner, but they worked their way up the pitch. And you could see what they were trying to do. Yeah, get it out, get it in. Yeah, make the keeper come out for it or make the defence head it away. Yeah. Right? You saw on Matoma's goal, he had 15 yards. No one said a word.
No.
Right? No one said nothing. And he's just wandered in. I know it was a worldie. Don't get me wrong. He's caught it absolutely plumb on that left foot and it's in. It's gone. Right? So good finish, but should never have happened in the first place. Right?
He stood there on his own, mate.
There was no one within 15 yards of him. And all he's done, he's seen the ball start coming and just drifted in.
Yeah.
Bang.
Porro was next to Danso, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Porro was next to Danso, he was on Danso's man, and he just drifted in round the back, stood there on his own. How many times have we done watch-alongs and we said, look, he stood there on his own. What's going on? There's no communication. They don't. All you need to do is sit behind, or, point your hand or, how people talk to each other. Even at the level, well, I was rubbish, mate, but even at the level I played at, people would tell you, behind you.
Shift over one.
Yeah.
Shift over one. You know how it works, Mark. One spare at the back, shift over one, whatever it is. One spare, man at the back post, get over, give them a push, get over. That means there's someone there, whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Mate. I've played enough football to understand that, you get told. If you don't see it yourself, there's someone looking out for you, and one over.
You've got to talk to each other on the pitch.
Yeah, of course you
It's one of the most basic things everyone knows. When you're in a team game, you all have to talk.
Yeah.
You have to talk.
You all have to work together, because no one's good enough to be able to do it all on their own.
Exactly.
Nobody. So you've got to work as a team.
This tells you this.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not good with words sometimes. Like I can be very basic in how I try and put stuff across. Right? This fella, right? He's got the words in his head, right? And as have others. Oh, Lisa's in. Say morning, Lisa.
Morning, everyone.
There you go. Lisa's in. Morning, everyone. She says.
Tea, mate.
Probably woke her up with me little tyrant earlier on, but she's up now, so I can have it large.
Cup of coffee.
I was like, oh, it's Alex. Well, that name come up, Alex. I thought, who the bloody hell's that? Because it normally says box office on it. I thought, who's Alex?
No, it's the box office. It's Mr. Box Office, yeah. But the thing is, I didn't put the thing in my thing anyway. You know what I mean? In the avatar, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? But big up to you boys, yeah. Cookie, looks like you got a bit of a Mr. Box Office in you, yeah. At least you know a little bit. You know what I mean? You need to get it out off your chest. Big up to you, Mark. Big up to you, Mark, as well. Yeah, hope you're doing well. You know what I mean, this is only going to be a short time because if you watch Mr. Box Office TV, I was at the game yesterday. Silly me, but when someone still gives me a ticket for 30 quid, you're not going to snap at that. You're going to snap at that, aren't you? Big up Danny Kiriakou, even though you're deluded. But the point is, though, yeah, he knows why I say that every single time. But, yesterday, I know we were done a long time ago. Yeah? And there was something on your show, on the fan show, on Friday that really got to me.
Go on, mate.
And I'm not going to have the guy that had a go at the biker guy, yeah? But
Yeah.
I understand where biker's coming from because I don't care about Tottenham Hotspur, right? And the reason why, yeah, I might love the club, but if I care about something that has been going downhill for a very long time since Pochettino, and I've not liked it since then, there comes a point where you're sitting there saying, are you punishing yourself? You know what I mean? And I don't need Tottenham Hotspur to make me happy anymore. You know what I mean? I don't want to be in a place where Tottenham Hotspur need to be making me happy because they're not paying my bills, one, and two, I need life still goes on. You know what I mean? Like when I die, I want to actually enjoy it, actually look back and say I've actually gave it a good go. You know what I mean? Not basing it on somebody else. You know what I mean? And again, I still love this club, but I don't like the fact that fans are having a go at those people that don't care. That's not their fault. They don't care, right? The fault is the club for not making us care. That's the point. You know what I mean? Because if you're going to tell me, have a go at me for not caring, pay me, like you said, Mark, very well and articulate it very well, pay me to do their job and then I'll start caring. Pay me, yeah? Then I'll start caring.
Alex, do you know what? I've got to jump in on that. If someone came to me and said, do you know what, Cookie? Yeah, Mackenzie's shit, yeah? Do us a favour. We've heard a rumour about you that you can find players. I'll do it for nothing, mate.
Yeah.
I'll do it for nothing because of my love for Tottenham Hotspur.
You get my point, Alex? Yeah, but you get my point, though. Yeah, I get what you're saying. And it's not about, yeah, I would do it for, maybe I'll do it for free as well. But my point is, it ain't paying my bills, giving my opinion. If you're going to get rattled by my opinion, say that I don't care, well, that's your problem. That's your problem. You're letting the club get into you, bro. That's your problem, not my problem. I can't get too emotional. I can't get too invested in this right now. And I even now say this, and this is what Deji said on Spurs Kings TV. You need to subscribe to this, yeah. And I don't normally agree with Deji. I'll give back that Europa League Cup to get my Tottenham back right now, honestly, because that season last year was crap, and I stick by what I say. Yeah, right. Yes, it was a good moment, but again, you can have a one-night stand, and it's a good moment. Doesn't mean that the rest of it's going to be great. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry, these last couple of years, even last year, which was absolutely crap, right? It's just not. I'm more less interested in Tottenham than anybody else. I couldn't get anybody on that pitch. Couldn't get any player on that pitch. De Zerbi's only doing what De Zerbi has done in his last how many clubs that he's mid-season. Look at the record with him at Brighton. There was another team as well, right? So this is not unusual that he hasn't won in his last because he didn't win his last 6 games in Brighton, and he didn't win his last 6 games in the other team. It wasn't Marseille, it was somebody else. Someone can tell me in the chat. So this is not a thing. And Danzo, yes, he made a mistake, but this is down to Danzo. This is not down to Danzo, yeah, because Danzo has been solid, and that's Mr. Box Office saying that right now, yeah. And I called out, and I'll tell you what as well, right? I could see what was going on from the first minute. First couple of 10 minutes, I was saying, I can see Brighton are going to get back into this game. They're only soaking up the pressure. And even though we had energy, and it's good to see Bentancur back, even though I still don't rate him, but he's our best midfielder, that sums it all up, right? Because he had a good game, but he was always going to tire out. Even though after 20 minutes, we had more of the ball and we were showing energy and we were showing a lot of endeavour. Did we have a shot on goal? No.
No, our strikers are rubbish, Alex. Our strikers are absolute pants.
So that sums it up.
That's the worst front line I've seen ever in my 55 years. It's the worst front line I've ever seen. None of them can hit a barn door. None of them.
with a
No,
banjo.
We've had some great strikers when I was growing up and back in the past, but this is the worst. The worst. I mean, how we've gone, you only got to remember 5 years ago, Sonny and Kane, 50 goals guaranteed between them. More than that, probably. At least 50 between them. And assists and, you know, everything else that goes with it. Now, it'd be interesting to see how many Moani, Richie and Solanke have got between them this season. I bet it's like 20 tops.
Not many.
Tops, that is, and that's being generous. Richie's got about 9, hasn't he? Is he our top scorer?
Like that.
He's got 9
like
or so, hasn't he? Solanke's got about 3.
Yeah.
If that. And Moani's got 1, hasn't he? I think he's
Something
scored
like
once.
that, mate. It's not good enough. It's not good enough, Mark, at the end of the day, anyway.
We're going down. I didn't realise that Leeds won earlier in the day. Yeah. And for me, it was done. It was done after. Well, it was really done for me, Nottingham Forest, to be honest with you. But it's like I think Stelios said it. I think. Well, no, I was on the same page as him anyway. But as soon as West Ham got out that relegation zone, we went in. We're not getting out. We're not getting a win. That's the main thing. We might get points. You might get points. 1 point there, 1 point there, 1 point there, but we ain't winning. And then now, and the thing is, though, Cookie, right? And this is what worries me. Even though I don't care if we go down, right? And people can tell me about the implications, but that's not my problem. Again, pay me to do the job if you want me to get cared about doing that job. But the worry for me is, even if we get a good director of football, I don't think he'll last, because he will have 5 minutes like Prodigy did, and he'll sit there and think, they don't know what they're doing. I'm out of it. You know what I mean? That's what worries me. You know what I mean? Because this is more than a manager. And then another thing as well, last thing I'll say, because I'm saying taking too much of your show, you need to have your time.
Alex, you're all right. It's about everyone else.
I appreciate that, Mark, but I've got my own channel to do that. You know what I mean? You guys need to make yourselves known. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you're doing it very well. You know what I mean? But I'm sick and tired, since the Zerbi's come in, the questions asked about, what do you think about the manager? How many times have I heard that, Cookie, over the last 6 or 7 years? And it makes no difference, Cookie. It makes absolutely no difference. It's about the identity, the philosophy, and the plan. And is there a plan? No. And this is why, at the moment, I don't see anything getting better at the moment until we do that. And that's all I've got to say.
Yeah. And I'm pretty much with you, Alex, on that. Go on now.
Do you know what gets me? Is I've accepted the fact that we're probably getting relegated now. Right? I've accepted it. It's going to hurt. It will hurt. But deep down, I don't even care. I don't care anymore. I've never felt more disconnected with this club than now. You know, you only got to go back 7 or 8 years when Poch was here. Everyone loved the club. We were all in love with it. I've accepted the fact that we're getting relegated now, and I don't care. I really don't. Yes, it's going to hurt me. Yes, it will, because I was 6 or 7 when we got relegated. So I can't really remember. I remember bits of it, but, you know, it's a bloody long time ago. That's funny.
It is a long time ago, mate. And I've
I don't care. I don't care that we're getting relegated.
I've accepted it now, but what I won't accept is the way it's happened.
Yeah.
Right? That is what does me about it. And I will never accept what Enoch have done to this football club.
No.
Because, like I've said before,
disgrace.
We were here long before Enoch were ever here. There might be young fans out there under 25 that have only ever seen Enoch, right? But I was 10 when Spurs went down last time. And like I said to you guys, it probably didn't affect me so much at 10. It was like probably went home and cried and whatever else. But then as I've got into my teenage years, I've looked at it a bit more. Yeah, I've opened my eyes a bit more. Why did Spurs go down? Why was it in 77 when players like Glenn Hoddle were about? A young Glenn Hoddle by
Stevie
Perriman. You know, Ralph Coates was still about, I think, still then. You know, when I look at those type of players and then I look at what we've got now, right, even though, again, and I'll say it, the intensity was lifted a little bit yesterday. It looked like there was a bit more effort there. But if you haven't got the quality consistently, you are going to find out where your level is. You saw where the level was last year. Now you're seeing it again this year. Unfortunately, there's only 2 teams that are absolute pants in this division this year, whereas there was 3 last year. That's why we got away with it last year. Yeah. This year, for the 2nd year running, we're down there. We've been crap since December. We can't win a game of football. Ding! I wonder why that is.
Do you know, we were saying it during the watch along yesterday. Not one of this team, not one of it would get in Poch's team. When it was the prime Poch team, not one of them. They wouldn't even make the bench. This is how bad they are. And that stems from the owners. You know, where Poch got us with that prime team, they should have pushed us on to win something. But no, they didn't. No. They were just said, oh, we'll get top 4 every year. That do. Money. Bring the money in. Lovely. And that was enough for them. You know, the team at the moment, like I said, I've never felt more uninvested in the team. I don't care now if we get relegated. It's not well. Apart from the banter over the boozer, it's not going to affect my life.
Mark, how do you and Alex as well? I know the general feeling of what people think about going down and staying up and what ENIC are going to do and what they're not going to do. ENIC are going to do fuck all. Let me tell all of you, right? If we go down, anyone that's worth anything is gone, right? All of the big players, they're gone. They'll keep the youngsters, they'll keep your Greys, they'll keep your Oddiberts, those type of players, right? You might keep a Danzo, you might do, right? They're going to sell everyone that's worth anything.
It'll be car boots out, mate.
That's what's going to... Alex, how do you see if Spurs go down? Is it going to be a long road back for you? Or do you think Spurs will still have enough to get into, let's say, the top 8 and get in a playoff place to come back up next season? Where are you at with it?
I think it's going to be a long road ahead because I think for me... And I hate saying this because this is just me being in Disneyland and being deluded right now. Yeah. But me at the moment, I think ENIC need to go. I think it's too many times. This is too much now. This is enough now for me. You know what I mean? And I don't think they know the football side anymore. I think
they're not interested.
We're just not interested. And I think I don't think they've got a plan for when we go down, and that's what worries me at the moment. You know what I mean? Even if we get somebody in, I don't think they'll let the football people do what they need to do, because I think we've done the wrong way around. I don't think we should have got De Zerbi in. I think we needed to sort the whole thing out upstairs first, before we went and got De Zerbi in. Because even De Zerbi saying it's not about division, it's about everyone being together, and it's clear. He wouldn't be saying in interviews, in pre-match interviews, I will only stay if everyone's together as one. And why is he saying that? Why is he actually saying that? You know what I mean? When he's only been here about 2 weeks. That's a bit... If that's me looking at it out from the outside in, I'll be like sitting there saying to Tottenham fans, I'm a bit concerned. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. That he's sniffed on this already, and he's only been here 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, because like I said, this is why I'm sick of people asking me about the manager. I don't care about the manager right now. You know what I mean? I've never really cared about a manager since Poch, and even Poch, I didn't even care about when he started. You know, it's about the whole shebang. Bournemouth have lost their manager in Areola. You know what they've done? They've just got a manager in for next season already.
Have
That is
they?
not. Yeah, they've already got a manager in already for next season.
Oh, I haven't seen this. I heard he was
Yeah,
leaving.
they've already got a manager and they confirmed it on Friday. That's from planning. That's from proper planning.
Between a properly
Proper
run
planning and having a philosophy, having a plan, having an identity. They knew exactly the sort of manager they're getting in, because the director of football knew straight away, thought, yeah, Ariola's contract's coming to an end. We might have to start looking at managers right now, just in case he goes. They tried everything to keep him, but when he's decided to say, I'm not signing a new contract, boom, get the man in straight away. They had two options. They knew what they wanted. Go and get their man. Whether he works out, that's not the point. The point is they had a plan, right?
Yeah.
That's the point. Because, like I said, I don't need to talk about Johan Lang, because I was talking about this in October when people were banging on about us leaving. Yeah, Vinay, I had my concerns about it already there, right? But now people say, if Johan Lang and Vinay go, oh, it's going to be absolutely fine. No. Because I'll get another person in who might be not good enough or might be good enough. And again, it won't work. But my point is, at the moment, there's no plan. And that's where my concern is, because all the players can go, right? But what is the plan going forward? Are we going to bring in the youngsters back? Are we going to use them? What we're going to do? How are we going to plan for the championship? Because it's going to have to be a different strategy in the championship. More games. How are you going to play? You know what I mean? You know, what sort of players do you need? It's the whole thing at the moment. You should be thinking about this right now, not when it happens. You need to be thinking about this right now. Whether you stay up or go down, you need to be thinking about it either way. And I don't think they're doing it right now. You know what I mean? Because the main players like Romero, Van der Ven, they all go, cool, because you need to sort that out. But at the moment, regardless whether it's going to be detrimental to our finances at the moment, you still have to have a football team that is going to function in the Championship or the Premier League, whatever. You know what I mean? And that's where I can see we're linked with things are going ahead with certain players if we stay in the Premier League, but I just don't see that's where my issue is at the moment. And that's why I think it could be very detrimental consequences going into the Championship this season for me. That's for me at the moment, personally. Yeah.
Thanks, Alex. Really appreciate your rundown on that, mate. Big up to Steve that's come in, and Mia's coming as well. Big up to you, Mia. How are you feeling this morning, Mia?
Pretty dejected, really, because, I didn't think that we played badly to get a draw. I was really disappointed. The first goal was Porro. He didn't mark his man. He should have been on him. The second, obviously, Danso made that mistake. I'm not going to blame them completely, but it was just disappointing that they lost concentration at those vital points just before half time to try and go in at 1-0, and then keep our concentration right at the end. It's really, really disappointing. I feel quite dejected because I actually thought we played all right. We weren't great, but I think we played all right. So it was a bit, I'm just really disappointed by it, to be honest.
Fair play, Mia. That's fair play. Steve, good morning to you, mate. Again, how are you feeling this morning, mate, after what you've seen yesterday? Spurs fans being on the cusp with 2 or 3 minutes to go of getting that 2-1 win, getting those 3 points, putting a bit of something into our, psychology, if you like, that, we can do it. Then we concede. Go on, Steve.
Yeah, I'm like everybody this morning, dejected, really. I can't believe I keep, falling for the hype before a game, because I think, game day turns up, and I think, maybe today will be the day, but yet again, get let down, don't we, every single time. So, but I want to go back to what you were saying about the owners.
Yeah.
Did you see after the game yesterday, I and Vivian in the stands just chatting really calmly like they're in a coffee shop on a Sunday morning?
Mate, I was in the stand against Sunderland after we'd lost, having a laugh and a joke. If my arm would have stretched to Sunderland, mate, they'd have both got one straight across the choppers. Trust me.
I was just like, how can you be so calm? How can you be so calm in this situation? You got fans with heads in their hands, you know, fans upset, you know, crying, angry, and your owners are just sat there like they got care in the bloody world. Absolutely disgusting. They put us in this position. They're accountable. And like Alex said, doesn't matter who the manager is. Doesn't matter who the manager is. You could get Pep in and we'd still be in this situation with them bloody owners. They need to go. I'm sorry. But it speaks volumes when they brought in a load of financial people this year, because they're probably sat in their offices every bloody day, crunching numbers, thinking, "Oh, how's it going to affect us if we go down? How can we make money if we go down?"
Interested in. That's all they have ever been interested in.
All they care about. That's why they brought all the financial people in to crunch the numbers, to know, see if it's viable or not. If when we go down next season, you know, how much they can get for this player, how much they're going to get for that player, because they're going to have to sell players. It's as simple as that. And they won't invest, and it'll be your youngsters like your Archie Grays, maybe your Bergvalls, all your loan players. Yeah, all your loan players.
Maybe going to come back from Germany.
Yeah, who've been put out on loan for years and years, not given a care about, and they're going to be relied on the entirety of next season to get us out of that championship. And let's face it, it's tough, that championship. Just look at Coventry City. Went down. It's taken them 25 years to get back to the Premier League. 25 years. So if any fans out there think it's going to be an easy ride in the championship next season, it ain't.
I just want to bring these two comments up to bring things into perspective of where Tottenham Hotspur are. And you all know most of them, but let me just bring these two up. There's the first one, right? We all know about that, right? And the shocking indictment of Tottenham Hotspur, where they are today, this is a fucking disgrace. Sorry for swearing.
Yeah, there you go.
Absolutely shocking. I'm sorry, right? But that stat on its own, nearly 4 months since we have won a Premier League football game.
You can win Derby, got about 8 points or 10 points, whatever they got in that season.
Yeah, something like that.
Even they weren't that bad. Even they had the odd win here and there.
Well, there's worse stats, because there's stats that show you we're going down.
Our worst run in 91 years or something, isn't it? Or something like that. I read early.
There's other ones as well, but to show you why we're going down. So that's why I don't listen to the people that say just be positive, because unfortunately my eyes haven't been lying to me, and like I said, the stats are backing me. The numbers are backing me up on this one now. And it's listen, I've got no pleasure of doing it, but unfortunately we're going to have hard conversations. That's the thing at the moment. You know what I mean? It's like I do not have any pleasure of saying I want Enid out, because I know it's not realistic. But at the moment, I don't see anything else changing if it doesn't, because the record's been saying it. You know what I mean? You know,
and Alex, I've got to say to you as well. You mentioned the old beadies. Yeah, they do tell you everything. Stats can tell you a lot, right? But these, when you're watching with these, they tell you exactly where Tottenham Hotspur are now, unfortunately. And again, I don't want Spurs to go down. I'm sure all of us on this panel, everyone in the chat, don't want Spurs to go down, right? But it looks like it could happen. Like we're gone as far as I'm concerned. I just can't see how we get out of it now. But guys, what do you think? You know, we were saying weeks ago, you know, I saw the Forest game. I went to the Forest game. I saw the performance, right? I said, we're gone. There's no way. We've been too bad for too long. Do you know what I mean? And can anyone give us something positive that maybe something can change or happen? Or, you know, the game yesterday, like we said, there was a bit more to it. We showed a bit more. If only we'd have been showing that over the past few weeks and months, we may not be in the position we are now. We may still be. Do you know what I mean?
Bentacle. The only thing I would say at the moment, if you want to answer your question, Cookie, Bentacle, That's the only one that I
Done
would
well
say.
yesterday, to be fair.
He's shown us what we were missing in that midfield for me.
Yeah.
As soon as he came off, and I knew he was going to come off, and put Gray on, it just, you could see. And the thing is, the problem is that Bentancur was not fit because still Brighton were dominating the ball. That was the thing. In parts of that parts of that first half, so they could have scored 2 goals. I think it was, from what I saw in the game. And like I said, I had that feeling middle part of first half that they were just soaking up the pressure and they were going to just do a sucker punch. But yeah, Bentancur for me, Basuma, unfortunately, again, I don't think he was fit enough. Because he got that yellow card, he just got a bit too, what is it now? It was just too a bit hyper a little bit. I don't think I can't think of the word. But yeah, I think that was a concern for me. But yeah, other than that, I think Kevin Danzo did have a good game. You know what I mean? I don't think he had a bad game in that sense before these mistakes as well, because I think he cleared a lot of things as well. And Kiski.
Danzo's a proper old school defender.
Yeah,
I like him.
And Kinsey had a good game. Kinsey had a good game as well in goal. Kinsey had a good game in goal. So if you want to talk about those positives, I think, you got to say those. I think those are the positives if you want the positive for me.
But it's not enough to give you any. It's not enough to give you any hope that we're going to stay up, is it?
No. But
I need to jump off. But before I go, what I would say is that I've said all along, if we stay up, it'll be because of West Ham not doing any. Like, they're the ones that are going to trip up, and we're going to somehow do it. I think that's the only chance I can see us staying up. So if they don't win against Palace, it becomes 1 point, and then obviously that's where we got a chance. And if that happens, we'll see. But I think we're going to need more than a miracle, if I'm honest. I just don't know if they're going to drop points. I've got a few tough games, but are we going to get the points to catch them? I can't tell you, because we've got some tough games ourselves. So, yeah, I'm going to jump off.
All right, Mia. Thanks for coming on, sweet. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks
Big up, Alex.
Anytime.
Well,
Thank you, Mia.
Mark.
No worries.
Steve. See you later, guys.
See you later, Mia.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Big up, man.
Oh dear. There you go. Steve, any positives for you that you can take out of Mr. Box Office's give Bentancur, which I think is spot on, to be fair. He gave everything till he came off.
I was amazed he lasted 60 minutes.
Yeah, he's done very well being out for 3 months. Fair play.
I agree with I agree with the Bentancur statement. I thought he did really well with his first game back yesterday. And like Alex said, as soon as he come off, it was that's where the problems were. Because I noticed in the first half he broke up play a few times, Bentancur. But that's the only positive. Guys, I was done after the Palace game. Yeah. After the Palace game, I was like, there's no way we're getting out of this now. So I can't, apart from Bentancur, I can't see no positives anymore, guys.
Mark, did you see anything in the game yesterday that might give you the slightest bit of hope as such?
We did show a little bit more fight, or probably a lot more fight. You could see it, but the thing is, there's still those brain fart moments. There was 2 or 3 times yesterday when the ball come in and there was a player stood there on his own, a Brighton player. The 2 goals, they just stood there on their own. No one marking. We discussed this just a minute ago. When you say shove over, one spare, all the stuff that, I didn't play. Well, I barely played football, but you had people tell you one spare. You know what I mean? There's none of that going on. How can you leave a player in your own area free? All right, sometimes there's genius football and they make the space for themselves. We've had players that can make the space for themselves. But these players were just wandering in. It wasn't like clever football. They just stood there on their own. you know, I mean, there's something wrong. There's something wrong. And I was over the pub last night, as you know, after the watch along, and there's people over there, they're giving me banter and whatever about getting relegated. And it suddenly came into my head. I said, I don't care. I don't care anymore. I said, in a way, I hope we get relegated to teach the owners a lesson. I said, because it will hurt them more than it will me. Yeah, it will hurt me, but it will hurt them financially. You know, and it's about time they got taught a lesson. It's about time they got taught a lesson. And if they don't pull their fingers out and get us promoted again, then that's their problem. That's their problem. I've already said I've never felt more disconnected with this football club. And I don't care if we get relegated. I really don't. I've given up with it because the football team is not the football team I grew up supporting. Definitely not. Definitely not.
No, it's not. Fair comment, Mark. I just want to move on to the Xavi Simmons celebration. There's a lot of people saying, look, there's still 12, 13 minutes to go. Rips his shirt off into the crowd. All the players are over there with him. Celebration took forever. And then like the game's won as such. But it weren't, was it? Because Brighton have equalised in the last couple of minutes. What does anyone think of the Xavi Simmons situation? Just for me, I'll just say it again. I thought I can understand why he done it. He's been very frustrated in the team, you know, even in the game. He was getting knocked off the ball regular. He's looking at the ref, you know, and there were 2 or 3 times that he did get fouled. Yeah. But he's celebrated, which I get. He's gone over. He's ripped his shirt off, whether you get that or not. Yeah, to a point, as a footballer, I get that. But how much did it impact on us winning the game? Because all of a sudden, we've probably gone from 5 minutes extra time to 8 minutes extra time, or whatever it was that what they give out. Do you think that had any effect on the result of the game?
I think I don't understand why people are making a big deal about this, because I was there, and even I at the game, when the goal went in, I thought it was absolutely superb.
Oh yeah, great
right
goal.
right behind it, and I can understand why, because he had a very frustrating game. I've got to be honest. He had a mixed game, even though he created one, and he scored the beautiful goal, which, to Bergva's credit, he got the ball back, but it was all after that, when he got the ball back, passed it to Xavi Simmons. It was all Xavi Simmons. It was it was right behind it, beautiful goal. But he had a mixed game because of the fact that he kept on getting knocked off the ball and stuff. I think from that celebration, I think that was just from his frustration throughout the game for me. I think that was it for me. And I think he's had a very frustrating season. But I do get why people are saying it was a bit of over celebration. But when you score a goal like that in the moment, and in the situation Tottenham were in, and this is Mr. Box Office saying this, by the way, because I would be criticising this a lot recently, but because I was there and I was literally doing something, you'll see it on my match vlog, I'm literally just talking about it and saying, this is not looking good at the moment. And then literally he comes off and then just it's like, what, boom, goal. And I was like, wow. And I had Ben behind me. You know what Ben with VR Tottenham TV's like? You know what I mean? Big up to him, by the way, right? And, you know, it was like, it was crazy, honestly. And it was just one of those moments when, you know, it was just one of those moments where you just taking a moment, like, you know what I mean? It was a beautiful goal in a moment where we were in the lead, we got into the lead, and we're like how many minutes away from getting the win that we really, really needed. So yeah, I do understand what they're saying a little bit, that maybe we were over celebrated, but when you're in that moment, scoring that sort of goal, it wasn't no bang average goal. It was just like, it was just a brilliant moment. You can understand, and also the frustration from the player because he had a mixed game. I can understand why he was a bit. He's been
on the bench, Alex, and he as well. He's been out of the team. He's come in again. Yeah, I get it. I do. Again,
I'm not his biggest fan because I think I'm being very critical about him. That's why I called him the Dutch Pretty Ricky. over the season. Yeah. So like I'm not here like kissing his backside here. I'm not one of those guys. I never am one of those guys. But being there and seeing that moment in real time, I can understand it. You know what I mean? And maybe I think the problem was I don't think it was the problem was that celebration. I think it was because when he got injured, and he was injured, right? He got cramped. We couldn't make a substitution, and then we were playing mainly with 10 men, to be honest with you. And I think that really gave the advantage to Brighton, and then they ended up scoring. That's it, really. And you could see it was happening. You could see what was going to happen. You know what I mean? And the confidence of the team as well, because I think that's the thing. Our confidence is brittle right now. So I think there's many factors in it. You know what I mean? I think there's many factors. I just think people are just pinpointing that moment and running with it at the moment. And I don't think it's actually just that moment, to be honest with you. I think people just completely forget that it is football. And when you have a moment like that at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, down at the post like that, we get in the lead, you're going to be...
Crowd went balmy. I ain't seen the crowd go balmy like that for a long time.
And he's having a very frustrating game. You can't blame the lad for just going out there and just celebrating a little bit. You know what I mean? You know, and that's what Alex,
like I say, I get it. I asked the question because I've seen numerous people and bits and pieces saying, "Oh, if he hadn't have celebrated like that for 2 or 3 minutes, then it would have been less injury time." And I understand exactly what you're saying. I get it. I get exactly what you're saying, mate. Just a moment of euphoria for him, if you like, after being left out the team, having some iffy games, getting like Alex said, we're the first ones to say, hang on, he's too lightweight. He gets knocked off the ball all the time. But when you see ability, if you like that, like what he showed when he scored the goal yesterday, I just want to see it more. You know, I don't want to see it once every 3 or 4 games. I want to see it more, you know. And listen, it is what it is at the end of the day. And I just think, you know, the quality in the team and the basics, like we said earlier on, we've got to talk to each other. They may well be, right? But surely, you know, I just don't get when a ball's coming in from any side, Alex and Steve and Mark, when it's coming in from any side, you could see what Brighton were trying to do.
Yeah.
We're just trying to work it out to the wings to get that ball in, curling away from the keeper. Yeah. Whether they were coming in short, going in long, 4 or 5 times, bang, far post. There's people standing there, Brighton players.
He was on his own.
Within yards.
And by the way, the first goal for Brighton, I forgot his name now. Oh, that was a good goal. That was a good goal. Oh, of course, I didn't even see it coming. I did not see it coming. Again, that was another goal that we just didn't see coming.
And let's face it, 8 times out of 10, he puts that in the safe stand.
Yeah, and he came on with Garcia. And I sat there after when Garcia came off because he was injured. I was like, oh, they're bringing him on. Oh, bloody hell, that shows their team, isn't it? Bloody hell. You know what I mean? One player that's been really good the last couple of seasons, and this guy that's been taking his place. You know what I mean? I forgot his name now.
Mitoma.
Yeah?
Mitoma,
yeah. It's completely escaped me. But, yeah, because Garcia's been displacing him out the team. And then he's come off, and then they've been Mitoma on. That just shows you where we're at the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
Spurs fans have been banging on about Mitoma, haven't we? We have been banging on about Mitoma for 2 or 3 years.
But he's on the bench, Mark. That's the point. He's on the bench at the moment. You know what I mean? That's how bad it is. You know, he's his second string, like, you know what I mean? And Garcia's the better player right now. That's the point I'm making at the moment. This is fascinating. You know, I didn't even know nothing about Garcia. You know, so this is the thing. So, you know, and then he came off. Afterwards. In the second half, and they brought somebody else on. You know what I mean? So this is where we're at the moment. This is.
I have got to say, as much space as the geezer had, right, when that ball swung over, and he's peached that with his left foot without even thinking about it, and it's rocketed into the back of the net. What a finish! I've got to say, from that perspective, what a finish from Matoma.
To be honest, there's 3 teams in the Premier League that I'm jealous of: Bournemouth, Brighton, and Brentford. You look at how they run and the togetherness of them teams.
Yeah.
You know, from top to bottom. We're not just talking about the team on the pitch and the manager. We're talking about the whole club, from top to bottom, how them teams are run. You look at Bournemouth. Alex has just said, I seen it was Wednesday or so. Iriola is leaving. He's not going to sign a new contract. They've got someone in already. You remember us? We'd be pissing about for 70 odd days, 80 days, whatever it was, with nobody. You know, this is how you run a football club. Them three teams, not the biggest teams, no disrespect to them, but they know what they're doing. You look at Bournemouth, Bournemouth's ground would fit. Bournemouth's whole ground would fit in our south stand. And yet they're halfway up the league. You know, and they're well run and they're a solid Premier League team. Our club is an absolute joke. And going back to Xavi Simmons, I understand the celebrations. 100% I do. The poor lad hasn't played much. Frustrated. Jesus, I'd run around there naked if I scored.
That's what I do around the bedroom normally, Mark, when I'm frustrated. Do you know what I mean? I'm just backwards and forwards. The missus ain't in there, but I'm just backwards and forwards.
Yeah. No, but you know what I mean? I understand all the celebrations and that. I mean, but it's just, the club just feels, to me, it's like the arse don't know what the elbow's doing. You know, there's no connection from the top to the bottom. There's nothing at our team, nothing at the club.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's how it seems at the moment. There's 110 of you in here at the moment. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Subscribe to Alex over at Alex, Mr. Box Office TV. Get over there, give him a sub. Says it how he sees it how he feels it, sees it how the facts are telling him. And let me tell you, right, there's one quote from my mate Phil. Yeah, and he's spot on. Phil the Prez, yeah, I'll shout you out for this, mate. And you are, you know, very forthcoming in your opinions. And his words to me were, Mark, some fans have got to feel it to see it. And unfortunately, that's where we're going. That's where too many people have been blind to what's going on. Now, all of a sudden, with 5 games to go, everyone's, oh, shit, we're in real big trouble here. Do you know what I mean? We can get out of it with 2 or 3 wins, but, you know, oh, no, what's going on? Too late. It's too late, people, right? We've got to be looking. We've got to open these, right, and look further down the line, yeah, to see what's going on. And over the last few years, you would have seen a steady decline of Tottenham Hotspur, and that's where we're at the moment, unfortunately. And something's got to be done to change it. What that is, we all know the change upstairs, yeah. Where do we go from here, peeps? I can't be on much longer. I've been summoned, as it's a beautiful day.
Allotment time?
Well, it will be allotment time, yeah. But where do we go from here? I have to talk about the football and get it out of my system. What happens now? We just keep going, see if we can pick up the wins. I mean, what else is there left?
Well, to be honest, mate, it's not in our hands, is it? No. We're relying on other teams dropping points, doing us a favour. You know, I mean, I'm sure we're all Palace fans tomorrow night.
I'm sure.
I ain't a Palace fan. I'm sorry, I'm not a Palace fan. Well, no, because I'm never ever going to rely on other teams to get us out of relegation when we put ourselves in this situation. I'm sorry, as far as I'm concerned, they can relegate them. If Tottenham get relegated, they get relegated. I'm not relying on other teams anymore. You know what I mean? They should have realised this a long time ago, so they wouldn't need to rely on teams. I was glad that Leeds won against Man United. Good on them. So people can have a go at me how much you want, but it's not my fault again. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we should have done better against Sunderland. We should have won against Sunderland. We should have won against Brighton today. You know what I mean? Yesterday. So for me, I can't be a Crystal Palace fan. If Crystal Palace, if West Ham win, good on them. Sorry, they deserve it. If Nottingham Forest, don't beat Burnley, there's the opportunity for Tottenham. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, it's got to that point now where, I said, if you can't get 40 points, you deserve to get relegated. I can't say anymore. I should have a standard as a football fan, as a Tottenham fan, for my football club. If you can't get 40 points, so for me, be gone. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry, this is enough for me. You know what I mean? And I know some people are going to be suffering. I know certain people don't deserve it. And I hate the fact that I have to sit. I sat there with Ben, and I know what Ben's like on We Are Tottenham TV. I know exactly what he's like. He's got a heart on his sleeve, and it hurts me when he's just sitting there, and I'm like, and I'm just sitting there being. I had to be. I just like thinking. I was like, oh, okay, it's the same old thing I've seen before, so I can't get annoyed. But he takes it really personally. And I feel for those sort of fans, you know what I mean? Because they put their heart on their sleeve for this football club, you know what I mean? So it's just I'm feel like the same like Kuva, like I said, Kuva would say the same thing. He would do it in his great way. He does it, yeah. Because whenever I need to talk about something football, I always call Kuva. You know what I mean? That's a secret because he's the man that I talk to about football, because he's a football man and he don't always agree with me, but I can always have a good football conversation with him. And you will say the same thing I'll be saying. Maybe a little bit different, but you'd be saying the same thing. It's the same. Well, who cares? You know what I mean? Because it's like, why? Why should I care? You get what I'm saying? So for me, I think it's done and dusted now, Mark. 2 marks. I think it's done and dusted. We'll get a point out of it. I think we'll give Aston Villa a game because they're in Europa League. I think we'll give Chelsea a game because look at Chelsea right now. I know we'll end up maybe get beat, but I think we'll give them a game. But other than that, I just don't see it at the moment. You know what I mean?
Chelsea would love nothing better than to send us down.
Yeah.
They'd have statues, they'd have murals, they'd have everything. If they sent us down, they would absolutely love it.
Have you heard what Chelsea are going to be doing for that game, though? They're going to give every fan flags to wave at stands beforehand, creating that.
Oh, yeah.
They were doing that for us. And I said, if we're not down before that game, that will be the game that sends us down. The Chelsea game, Stamford Bridge, will be the game that finishes it, completely seals it.
Yeah, to be honest, if the roles were the other way around, though, and we had the chance to send Chelsea down, we'd all be loving it. Yeah, get the flags out. It'd be like a party atmosphere. And so you can't blame them.
No.
You know, going back to Xavi's goal, the celebration, right? I was sat here, Mark was sat where he is doing the watch along. And when we went 2-1 up, I had the volume down on the TV, but I could hear the fans. It was just like a relief. It was a sense of release. Yes, we're actually winning. Or I want to be, but like you could just feel the release. Like I went mad here doing the watch along when Xavi knocked that goal in. But it was just like a sense of release, that we've been terrible and we're actually winning a game. Now come on, see it out. But we didn't.
I have to say the fans were superb.
Yeah,
absolutely superb. And I might call them the most deluded fan base by none in the Premier League, right? And I'll still stick by that. But one thing I will say is that they've been turning up. They've been turning up. You know what I mean? So this ain't on the fans. You know what I mean? This ain't on the fans.
No,
you know.
But to be honest, it goes back to the thing about the players getting the fans up for it. When previous managers have said, we can get fans behind us, give us something to shout about and we'll shout about it.
100%. You know what I mean? I do think I wish we had more energy to get the owners out. But again, that's down to people at the end of the day. If you looked at Chelsea before their game, you saw their protests. I mean, I mean, there was a couple of, from what I saw, there's a lot of people there, to be honest with you. So I did wish that we do something right now. And I know people say that maybe we need to support the team, but I do think we need to use that same energy that we used to try and, because I do think people need to realise that, this could get really bad in the Championship right now. But on the fact that we supported the team, you know what I mean? I think it was absolutely fantastic, especially at the beginning of the game. You know what I mean? So, I cannot criticise any other fan base. You know what I mean? Because we really did turn up yesterday. You know what I mean? Even though I think most of them do know where this is going right now, and it's not going to be a happy ending, unfortunately. You know what I mean?
No, it's not, Alex. Alex, if we're down before the Everton game, do you see a load of people turning out to protest?
No.
No.
I really don't. I think if it was going to happen, it would have happened sooner.
Yeah.
I think it would have happened sooner. Unfortunately, I just don't think we have the fan base to do that at the moment. And again, I've got no pleasure of saying eating it out all the time, because that is not realistic. I know things like this are not realistic. You know what I mean? It will take a lot of factors for that to happen. And also, I'm just willing to roll the dice. But at the moment, I'm not silly anymore. I just know the reality, and there's only so many times you can see the same thing, and then you come to the same conclusion. And that's the only thing at the moment. You know what I mean? And with all the players that we're linked with now and saying that they're going to come in and stuff like that, I've seen this before. I've seen Perisic come in. I've seen, Basuma come in, and we didn't do the right things with Basuma, and I thought Basuma was a good signing. You saw Maddison come in for the price that he's come in. Look what's happened there. You know what I mean? It's just continual things that you think things might change, but we all know it doesn't change. You know what I mean? It's just, it comes down back to that whole thing about identity, philosophy, and plan. And that is the only thing that Enid will never ever do right. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I think, I don't think the fan base are going to ever do it, because I see it from other fan bases like Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool. I'm not criticising the fans, and maybe they just want to have a good day out because it's sunny, but after drawing that game, I wouldn't be in that. I didn't want to be in that stadium any longer. I just want to get out. You know what I mean? Get on my day. But there's loads of people just having a little bit, having a bit of a, catch up and all that. You can go outside and do it. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I just think at the moment, I don't think we realise that, things are not going to be the same in the Championship. You know what I mean? And it's going to be a hard slog. So I'm going up too much.
Oh, mate, the slog ain't the word. Steve, we'll come to you with anything you want to say about, what's left of the season, what happens, if we go down. And Danny's in now, so we won't finish quite yet, because Danny will have his say on it, I'm quite sure. But Steve, have you got any optimism at all, or is it just be drained out of you, mate? I'm sorry to ask the same question to everyone, because everyone will have different opinions at the end of the day. But where is it for you now, Steve? Like for me, we were gone games ago. I don't know. Tell everyone what you think, mate. And is there any optimism for you?
I've got no optimism at all that we're going to get out of this, and it's completely drained me. There's obviously Tottenham as like a release from daily life, but that's not even happening now. So stressing me out even more than daily life. So yeah, I think we're done, and I think a lot of the fan base that are still like, oh, we'll be fine, need to get on board with it, because I think we're done. We're completely done. And like Alex said, people better start waking up, because the Championship is going to be so hard. It's not easy, and that you've got 46 games to play. So, and you've got to go away to like these really tough grounds on a Friday night, Tuesday night. yeah, some of our fans have seen that. So yeah, I think we need to wake up and realise that we're down. So yeah, it's completely drained me, guys. I've got nothing left, to be honest with you. So I just
We've
want
got to find something, Steve. We've got to find something. As fans, we've got to find something.
I know,
We're trying
but
to find something all year.
like I said earlier, like I said earlier, though, every time I think, okay, game day comes along, I think maybe today's the day.
Yeah.
And then that happens, then I'm like, why do I let myself get up for these things anymore? So, because I literally, when I saw 8 minutes come up yesterday, I turned my seat around from the TV. I couldn't even watch those last 8 minutes. And then I heard the Brighton fans celebrating. I was like, and I just got up, turned the telly off, and went out. So, yeah, I think we're done, mate. But well, we'll see. But yeah, that's where I am with it anyway. So.
Fair play, Steve. Fair play. And some geezer's turned up. I thought he was going to have his Harry Kane on mask on today, to be honest with you, but he hasn't. He hasn't. And I don't know, Alex might call this geezer a bit deluded. I've heard him calling that sometimes, I think.
Yeah.
But he's here. He's here. DK is in the house, and I've got no doubt he will be forthright on his opinions about Tottenham Hotspur. You know you can say what you want on here, Danny. So you crack on, mate, because I'm going to go and get a drink. Hang on a second.
First of all, I hope you boys are all well.
Yeah.
All good, Danny.
Nice to hear you. Nice to see you guys. Alex, I hope you enjoyed the game, mate. Yeah, I think yesterday was very unlucky for us. I think we deserved the win yesterday. I don't think Brighton deserved to win that game. I just think that Brighton took their chances when they had them. And just because of the situation we're in, we don't really have goal scorers at the moment. And we're not utilizing the thing that we've been good at all season, which is set pieces, which is a shame, because I think if we were utilizing that a lot more, I think it would be a bit different. I also think that if we had brought in De Zerbi, if we had brought in De Zerbi when Tudor came in, or even in January before they sacked Frank, I think we wouldn't be in this position we're in right now. Now, having said all of that, I still have not once said that we're going to get relegated. I still believe that we're going to stay up. And why I say this is because, well, first of all, it's maybe a bit of the hopium or the delusion that I can't envision Spurs being in the Championship. But what I saw yesterday was a team that was giving everything, right, to the maximum that they could give to their level, right? A lot of those players we all know they're not good enough, right? So I'm not going to sit here and talk about the quality of the players. What I will say is that yesterday I saw, as soon as Bentancur came back into the team, now we all know Bentancur's probably not, well, Bentancur, Basuma, and these type of players are not players that I want at Spurs anymore. I mean, Bentancur maybe is a squad player, but it just goes to show the level that was required yesterday when we had 3 men in midfield, right? When we had Bentancur, Gallagher, and Basuma, the difference between having them and then having the Bergvals and the Sars and the Greys was just levels. And that is just crazy because a lot of us were all sitting here last season and this season saying that these players shouldn't even be here, like the Bergvals, sorry, the Bentancurs and the Basumas. But the truth of the matter is that these players are the ones who we're going to need if we want to get out of this situation that we're in, right? Purely because these are seasoned professionals, and the difference between them and the other players that were on the bench was that these guys are men. They're not little boys, right? Right? They're actually the actual men. Bentancur is a man who's played at top level. Basuma is a man who's played at top level. And so is Gallagher. Gallagher is a man who's played at top level, right? Whereas Sarr wasn't even in the squad yesterday. What does that tell you, right? He wasn't even in the squad. So So I think De Zerbi's not a stupid man. He's very, very highly intelligent football coach, right? Now, why I still think we've got a chance, because first of all, technically we have a chance. We're not out of it yet, right? We're not mathematically out of the race of staying in the division, right? Yes, we are going to need and have to rely on other teams, right? But football is a crazy game and anything can happen in football. And if we play the way that we did yesterday, then we have a chance. We have a fighting chance, right? The other thing as well is that when you look at the big issue again is obviously the quality of the squad, because as soon as Bentancur and Basuma and those guys went off the pitch, right, you could see the drop in the level in the midfield. We lost the midfield battle, right, and that was the biggest problem, and that's the only concern for me at this moment in time is we've got to keep these players fit. We've got to keep, which is obviously another tough thing at Tottenham Hotspur, but players like Bentancur, Basuma, Gallagher, that has to be the midfield three now for me, right? Maybe the odd rotation between Bentancur and Paulinho in that middle, but those players have to be the midfield three, because we need to make sure that we don't lose the midfield battle, because when we do lose the midfield battle, what tends to happen, and what I saw yesterday again, was that we give the ball away far too much, right? And then we put more and more and more pressure on the defense. Now, I actually think the defense had a good game yesterday, and it was a shame that Danso was unlucky in that mistake, right? Whether that was a mistake, with Danso's error leading to that goal, it was either he didn't realize that player was that close to him, and he was just so tired that he just completely misjudged it, and that one lapse of concentration cost us, unfortunately. But it was hard because the whole game he was brilliant. He was brilliant. He was winning everything in the air, on the ground, his duels, pretty much. So it's a shame. But that fight yesterday is the only thing that I've got to go on to believe that these players can do it. Because at the end of the day, they have to believe they can do it. Because if they do not believe it, and if the manager doesn't believe it, then we're not getting out of this. And of course, everything looks towards we're going down. Of course it does, right? We're not stupid. We've seen the season, we've seen where we are, we've seen the results around us. And again, we're going to see what happens today, which most likely we're going to be 5 points off Nottingham Forest. But even that still doesn't mean we're down yet, right? Of course, it means that we're closer to the relegation now, especially if Nottingham Forest win. But it's not over yet. There's still 5 games to play. So the stranger things have happened in football. Did anyone here sit here and expect, or did think Leeds were going to go and beat Man United at Old Trafford?
No.
None of us thought that. Absolutely none of us, right?
But it didn't surprise me. It didn't surprise me because Leeds have got fight.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though, Cookie. Like, that's the thing. Marky boy, sorry.
Sheriff.
Yeah, Sheriff. I'm lost my mind there.
Call me what you want.
Call us what you want, Dan. We don't care.
Yeah.
They have the fight. They have the fight, Sheriff. But also, look, football can change in one game. It can completely change, and I think the as Spurs fans, I get that it's been a shit season. I get that it's been depressing. I get that we're looking more and more unlikely. But right now, the only thing that we can do now is hope that these players carry that same mentality in.
Oh, Danny's gone wonky. I can't hear him.
No, he's glitched, hasn't
Has he glitched? Are you still there, Dan, or are you gone out of it?
Oh
no, Dan's gone out of it. We'll wait and
It's
see.
that dodgy Amsterdam internet.
for a bit if he comes back.
So 1 second. I can't hear you guys.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, we heard you, Dan.
We heard you, Dan. Keep talking, mate. Give him a chance. Anyone else want to come in on what Danny was saying there? Agree or disagree, or just to give him a chance to come back in?
Maybe his internet's gone down because he's been deluded. But anyway, moving on. No. Listen. I'm not having a go at him. I do think you need some hope. You need some hope, don't you? You know what I mean? And like I say, I stick to what I say. Hope for Tottenham. I never do hope with Tottenham. I do hope in life. I do hope, in love. I do hope going to a soccer event, enjoying myself. Hope going on holiday. I hope anything to do with life, not Tottenham. Never, ever. So, you know what I mean? I just talk on facts and what I see. And at the moment, I just do not see where those wins are coming from. That's the problem at the moment. There's no pressure on the teams, even Leeds, Wolves, no pressure. We're under.
Do you hear me, guys?
Huh?
Yeah, I've got you, Danny.
Yeah, you're back.
Can you hear us, Danny?
Danny, sort out your internet, bro, because we need to hear you more, bro.
Go out and come back in, Dan.
Come back in.
Try that.
Try that, mate.
There you go. Go on, Alex. Carry on,
I can
mate.
hear you guys.
Yeah, if you come back and come out and come back in, Danny, if you can't get in, because
there you go.
Yeah. Hopefully he comes back.
He will.
But yeah, I hear what you're saying, though. I do hear what you're saying, but I just don't see where the wins are coming from. That's the thing at the moment. You know, whether we worked hard or not, we've got players that are not fit, just not fit at the moment, like Bentancur and Basuma. And the pressure is not on us. It's on us massively in a relegation battle. We're in a relegation battle now. So getting out of that is a different sort of pressure than winning or getting in, staying out of it. You know what I mean? So this is where I just don't see anything at the moment out of those games at the moment. You might see us do something against Wolves, but I still think it'll be a draw. And
Sorry, go on, Alex. Go on.
Yeah, you go. Because you had your moment. So you say what you need to say, mate. Go on.
I was going to say that, like, if you look at the thing is, I get that everyone is right now there's no optimism. Everyone is skeptical because of what's gone on. But for me, I look at it in a different way. I look at it from a positive attitude, and what I saw yesterday, I haven't seen for a long time in this football club. I saw fight. I saw organization. I saw better structure. And of course, it's a correlation. There's definitely a correlation between having Bentancur play his first game in 4 months and Basuma playing for the first time in a month, and them all playing together with Gallagher, and Gallagher actually playing in his position in midfield. And it made a difference, right? So the only hope that I have got is that this team that we've got, because he has got a lot more players fit now, De Zerbi, right? Yeah. Of course, we still don't have Kudus. I know Maddison's back, so he might be able to chip in a little bit in the last sort of 4 or 5 games. For me, and I've always said this, if Maddison can get back for the last couple of games, that one player can make a massive difference. Those couple of players that we've got now, Bentancur, Basuma, Maddison, Gallagher, these players, and having the rest of them fit, I know we struggle to score, right? But it gives us more of a chance than we had before. If those players weren't fit, I think we would have lost yesterday. I actually think we would have lost the game, right? If we didn't have Bentancur playing, because if I saw how we played when Bergvall and Gray came onto the pitch, we just lost all control of the midfield. We just lost it all.
Agree with that.
Because those two kids should not being anywhere near this first team. These are the type of players that should be playing 10 minutes in the last 10 minutes. When you need a little bit of energy, you just get them in the last sort of 5 to 10 minutes, right? And even that maybe it's debatable. But So I'm hoping, and of course he was trying to keep Bentancur fit because he has to, because he hasn't played in 4 months, right? So I look at it from a positive perspective, regardless of what's really going on, not because it's delusional, because I have to believe that we're going to stay up, because in life, and of course a lot of us might be positive in life. I'm a very positive person, but I'm also, when I look at this, you also have to be positive in terms of the energy that you give towards the football team. And what I saw from the fans in the stadium yesterday was a lot of energy and a lot of belief, right? And I think that's what they need, these players need from the fans as well, in order to help push them over that line. And after everything, if we still can't do it, then the reason I think we don't stay up is because it just wasn't enough time, and that obviously falls on the decisions of the club for fucking up the managerial decisions, the last couple of managerial decisions, and then not bringing in the right manager at the right time, and that's how it is. But I do think that if I look at those fixtures, I think we can get something at Wolves. I believe we can get something at Leeds. I also believe we can get something at Villa. And at the moment, the way Chelsea are playing, of course, it's Chelsea and we never win at their ground. But look, Aguero scored in the last minute to win a title, right? We could score a goal in the last minute to stay in the league. It could be the same thing. I'm not saying it can happen. I am saying it can happen. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm saying that there's a possibility. This is how football works. And until we are mathematically down, everyone should be believing that we can stay up, regardless of what you really think, regardless of how you really feel. Because we all know how you really feel. Yeah. A lot of us, we all know that everyone thinks that we're going down. But this is exactly the same mentality that Spurs fans have. Spurs fans, because of how shocked they've been, how hurt they've been by how the club has been run and how bad the performance has been. For me, I look at it as just, this is 5 games to completely save and turn around Tottenham's fortunes. And if the manager can get these players to believe in him and believe in themselves, then I think we've got a chance to do it. And of course, we are going to need Forest and West Ham to have poor results as well. So it's not obviously all in our hands, but I still think that can happen too. At the moment, I don't think Leeds are in a relegation fight. I think Leeds are safe now. Yeah. I think it's between West Ham and Forest, and it looks more like if Nottingham Forest win today, that's 5 points ahead of us, and it means we'd have to do a 2-game turnaround, and they'd have to lose 2 games when we turn around 2 games. So there's all possibilities that could happen. I'm saying Nottingham Forest could win 1 game, go 5 points clear, and then lose all the rest of their games, right? For example, because they've got some tough games coming up as well, right? But then it becomes difficult if Forest win 2 more games, right? Which would then mean it's down to between us and West Ham. But regardless of what happens, we need at least 6 points. Whether we get a win from somewhere, we have to get a win somewhere. 1 win somewhere. It has to be somewhere.
We've got to beat Wolves, haven't we, Dan?
Yeah.
There's no. We have to win that game, Danny. Yeah. I'm sorry.
I think we have to win that game as well. Yeah, I agree. I think
the problem is that the pressure is on us, so there's no pressure on them. And that's where I'm at the moment. You know what I mean? I think you said it. I think you said why I'm doubting it, because I predicted in these 7 games that we're not going to get any win out of these games. We will get draws, but we need wins, and that's the problem at the moment. I do agree with you. Maddison will be crucial here. You know what I mean? And making sure that Xavi Simmons is fit as well, because he's fit. Oh, good. That's good then, because whether or not he's got his detractors like me, or he's got his negatives, what he's got at the moment, because he's very weak on the ball, and that was shown yesterday. At least he's got something creativity wise. You know what I mean? And so I think we're going to have to try and figure out how to get him in. I agree with you about Bentancur. You know my feelings on Bentancur. I don't rate. I'm not a big fan of his, but yesterday, from my eyes, he did a lot yesterday. You know what I mean? So
He was the best
I
player on the pitch.
think the problem is the front line, Danny. That's the problem at the moment. I've got with it at the moment. I think.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I don't rate Tell, but you know what? Play him because at least you're going to have something for someone. You know what I mean?
I think you'll have more from Tell than you get from Muani.
Yeah, well, that said it for itself, doesn't it? Really, you know what I mean? And I think you're going to have to play with Richarlison. I think you're going to have to. And again, please do not think that I rate Richarlison whatsoever because you know it's the box office. You know there's a reason why I call him the below average Emil Heskey for a reason. You get what I'm saying?
The problem we have, Alex. The problem, right? Because this is what I saw yesterday, right? That Solanke and Richarlison are both players that can't finish. Right? They're not good finishers. Right?
No.
They both need like 5, 6, 7 chances before they get a goal. Which when you're playing in a team which is lacking creativity, it's very difficult because they're not clinical finishers. Right? Richarlison is a moments player, so he can come up with a goal out of nothing and when you least expect it. But his overall game, Richarlison's overall game, is awful. Right? But what I saw yesterday was that the opposite with Solanke yesterday, his overall game was pretty good. He was pressing well. He was getting in their faces. He was making some good runs. But again, his finishing is shit. So it's like, who do you go for? Do you pick the player who doesn't really offer you much, right, up front, or do you play the player that offers you a bit more as a team, right, and at least holds the ball up well and all this kind of stuff? Because they both are not good at finishing. So
I wasn't impressed with Solanke, by the way. I wasn't impressed with Solanke.
I weren't either, Danny. I've got to say,
I wasn't. But I'm saying, like, there were certain moments that he was doing the right things. He made a couple of decent runs. He held the ball up well. He was bringing into play a bit more. It's more than what I've seen from Solanke in the last 5 games, which is not a lot. But you have to look at the difference between the players of Richarlison and Solanke. And the reason why I think they keep picking Solanke, both managers, Tudor and De Zerbi, keep picking Solanke, is because he has a better overall game than Richarlison does. Because Richarlison, he's awful at ball to feet. He's awful at it. He can't control the ball. He's useless, right? And when you're a team that needs to be able to hold the ball more, right? You need someone who can give you a bit more than what Richarlison gives us, right?
We know Richarlison. Listen, I'm reluctant to say what I'm saying at the moment. I don't even want to come out of my mouth. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'd call him the below average Emil Heskey for a reason. You get what I'm saying? And that's not changing. But I think it's just comparing apples to oranges now. Those two players right now. Because you're damned if you do, if you're damned you don't with those two right now. And I hear what you're saying, Danny. He just sometimes becomes anonymous in the game, and that's the problem at the moment.
But you say that, Alex. But Richarlison's even more anonymous.
Oh no, I know. That's why I'm saying you're comparing apples to oranges at the moment because either one is terrible.
You have to look at it. You have to look at it from. Well, look, this is what we have to choose
fine
from.
detail we're talking about now, Alex.
I know.
You have to understand, Alex, right? The manager is trying to find what is best to suit what he needs and what the players can offer, right? The players are limited because of their ability. Their ability is not good, right? But what Solanke offers than what Richarlison doesn't is like this comment here, right? Solanke can also drop deep and get on the ball, and he can hold on to the ball better up front. That is exactly why he's being picked. This is the exact reason, right? It's not because he's a better finisher than Richarlison. It's not because Richarlison scored more goals. That's why he's playing. It's because his overall general play is better than Richarlison's, right? And when you're a team that can't pass the ball, you're a team that's struggling with possession, you're a team that's struggling with confidence, right? You need to play the players that can offer you more than the other players, right? Which is why he's playing the players. Why do you think he played Bentancur for the first time after 4 months and he didn't go with Archie Gray or was left out of the squad?
No, exactly because
they offer what he needs. Those players are going to be able to offer something to give us a chance, right? Because if Richarlison was playing yesterday, I think we wouldn't have held the ball up well up front. I think we could have, and the difference between us drawing that game and losing it potentially, right, is the fact that we had someone who could hold the ball up more. Because if you have Richarlison who keeps losing the ball every time the ball goes to him, right, what happens is that it goes straight back to the opposition, right, and then they're on the break again, and then what happens is you put more and more pressure on our team, on the midfield, on the defense, which then builds it builds the team having less confidence because they're being attacked more and more and more.
But I'm not arguing about that.
It's the very reason why Solanke played yesterday.
Yeah, but I'm not arguing about that. I'm arguing about Mawani. I don't think Mawani should be in the team, right? And I think either Tell or Richarlison should have been on instead of him. You know what I mean? Again, I don't rate both of these players, but at the moment, I'm seeing more from them two. Even though it's not what I rate, it's just what I'm seeing at the moment in terms of what showing a little bit more fight, which should be a standard. I just think at the moment, I don't think Mawani should be nowhere near that team. If Sar's not even in the team, right? And at least he gives us energy, regardless whether you rate him or not. At least he gives us energy.
I said earlier, the front three that we have are the worst I've seen. Marianne put it in as well. I said this earlier, Marianne. They're terrible. All of them, they couldn't hit a barn door with a banjo. None of them.
Agreed.
None of them are absolutely useless. 5 years ago, we had Sonny and Kane.
Yeah.
Now we got these idiots.
Absolutely.
50 goals a year. 50 goals a year, Harry and Son, guaranteed. Now, what they scored, Richie's got about 9, I think, hasn't he? Moani's got 1. And Solanke's got, I don't know, a handful.
I think you've got to put. I think the key people are Maddison and Xavi Simmons at the moment. I think those are the ones. I think we're going to have to try and figure out a way just to get them on the team. And then obviously you've got Bentancur.
Is there any way you can play both, Alex?
Well, I think you're going to have to try and figure something out right now because I think the problem is yesterday is that we didn't create enough for me. Because we needed a couple of goals yesterday. The
problem is, Alex, is that Maddison is not match fit yet. I don't like Bentancur's from a different breed, I think, than Maddison. Maddison, you got to be more careful with.
Maddison's injury was rough as well. It was a terrible injury, Maddison.
So with Maddison, I think he's the type of player you want to bring on with 20 to 30 minutes to go. But you have to try and keep Xavi on because he obviously offers the most. He's the player that gives us more chances than any other player. So it's good. That's obviously something that we're lucky for us. We're not managers and we don't have to figure out that problem. But he's got to somehow get Maddison playing in the last 4 or 5 games in some capacity because I think he's going to give us a bit more of a chance to create more for whoever's playing in that team to give us a fighting chance.
I think maybe I think maybe even play Xavi Simmons maybe higher up the pitch, maybe, and then try and and then you could have a Solanke possibly, and then if you want to play Maddison, maybe last 20 minutes. I'm just trying to think right now. And then you've got Bentancur and Paulinho to shield the defence. Then you've got your defence really there. Whether you like either player, that's up to you. That's everyone's opinion. I think at the moment, and then Kinski at the moment, I think you still stick with.
I would stick with Kinski.
Stick with him in the shirt,
definitely.
And you just go with that right now. Obviously, I think Maddison comes in. Last 20 minutes, I think, but I think that's where we're at the moment. I think we just need to really, like I say, I think I think we just need to go back to basics really right now. I think that's the thing at the moment. Just keep it basic right now.
I think we were doing that yesterday, Alex. I think that as soon as Bentancur and who was the other player that went off? Was it Gallagher that went off?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. When them two went off, you just saw the drop. The drop was just levels, which is actually mad how bad the drop is, which is exactly the reason why we are in this situation that we are in. Because at the beginning of the season, when Paulinho and Bentancur were playing, we were picking up points. Whether we were playing well or not, that's not the point. We were winning games and we were drawing games, so we were picking up points, right? As soon as Bentancur got injured, that was it. And that's how crazy it is, because that one player, right, has made a massive difference on our team. And as much as we don't want to hear it, he was the reason. Bentancur is the reason that we were one of the reasons why we were actually picking up points, because he had a decent partnership with Paulinho, and then on top of that, people don't want to hear it, but Thomas Frank was utilizing what these players were good at, which was scoring goals from corners, because he knows, he's not stupid. Frank knew that these players can't fucking hit a barn door to save their life, right? And that's why we're still, even in the league table now, from corner squad, we're still second highest in the league. But we haven't scored when was the last time we scored a corner? Was that when Frank was here? I can't even remember the last time we scored a corner. So we've been at 14 goals or 13 goals from corners for a while now. So we're not even doing the very thing that we actually were good at. So there's a lot of things there's a lot to go on with what's been going on. But for me, like I said, I think the most important thing is Bentancur has to stay fit, and we have to try and keep these players. That's the key now. The players that we've got available now, because we've nearly got a fully fit squad. We've got 6 players out injured. Vicario, I couldn't give a shit about. Romero, I literally couldn't give a shit about. I don't care that they're not playing, right? Kudus is a big loss, unfortunately. Kulusevski, again, unfortunately, people won't want to hear it, but is a big loss for us right now, right? And a shame that he's not going to be playing a part in this season. And then the other player who's not fit is who's the other player? Odebear, yeah, I'd say I would rather Odebear as our winger than any of the other wingers we've got right now.
Yeah, so he's the only winger we got, really.
Yeah, so
that's your bar, isn't it? That's your bar.
Yeah, so it's a shame, but we have to now keep these players fit with the players that we do have fit, because they're the ones who are gonna either send us down or get us out of it. So I still believe that there's some shock results coming. Whether or not that's going to be Tottenham getting battered or Tottenham winning a game of football, I don't know. But I still believe there's shocks coming.
We need to be.
Obviously, I only watched the game on TV yesterday, and Madders looked quite gutted that he never come on, because he walked down the tunnel.
Mark, he would be gutted, because I think in his mind he wants to help the team out. I think that's the sort of person.
Exactly it.
And so what I saw of it, he looked ready to play, because after we made the 5 subs, they showed him walking down the tunnel, knowing that he wasn't going to come on.
I think it's the thing. I think he's always going to feel like that. A footballer's always going to feel like that, especially when he's been out for so long. And I think he knows how crucial he is to the team as well. You know what I mean? So I think,
and he's watched the game, Alex. He's watched the game, and he's probably thinking, "This is made for me. I only need one chance."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just get me on there, and I'll make it 3-1. Because it was such a tight game. And he's been through all this rehab as well, Alex. As a player, when you're dying to come back, even though in your heart of hearts you probably know you're not ready, but he stuck you on the bench type of thing. Do you know what I mean? And then when you're watching that game, you're thinking to yourself, I could really make a difference here. So I get what Mark's saying about Maddison being, a bit disappointed at the end, but it is what it is at the end of the day, and the manager puts the players on the pitch. Would you? I know you've just touched on it, Danny, and all of you have during the show, but was it not a mistake as such? Does it? I'll put it differently. Does it just really show the levels, like Danny said earlier? We're still in that position of when we have got, a pretty much full team available to pick, like we did have yesterday, apart from the ones we know about. Does that drop off that that we saw yesterday, and then shows what we were having to play with the massive injury list earlier in the season, that the level of drop off that happens when, and unfortunately I've got to say it, when an Archie Gray comes on and a Gallagher comes off, or a Bentancur comes off, well, that is something, even if we do go down, we have to address in the summer. And if we stay up, we've got to massively address this levels of situation. I know players have to learn, and like Danny and Alex, and I think Steve said earlier on, you know, the Bergvalls and the Greys, if they're not out on loan to someone, they should be your 10-minute players, you know, in the position that we're at the moment. So the levels thing is an issue, Danny, and has been, and everyone for a long time.
Of course it is. And I think, like, it's I've been saying this for ages. If we have a fully fit team, I don't think we're here in this position that we're in. We might be, I don't know, 14th or 15th from the table, or even 13th, but we would not be in a relegation fight if we had a fully fit squad. I 100% believe that. That's not in any doubt whatsoever. The problem is that when you have to rely on the Bergvalls, the Greys, the Sars, the Tells and the Muanis, it's just, you can see the levels. And now Muani is a bit of a strange one, because I was also one of these players that I thought, we actually got a good play in Muani, but
so did I.
Unfortunately, things on paper never not always work out the way you think they're going to work out. And Muani has just looked like a player that just doesn't want to be here, and that's very difficult when you're in a relegation fight, or when you're in the Premier League. You need players who want to fight, and we've seen Muani's ability in a couple games, but the problem is he's been so inconsistent. And he still hasn't scored. He had scored a goal in the Premier League. Yeah, he scored one goal. It's just crazy that he's just nowhere near the levels that we all expected him to be at. That's the truth. Maybe people would have said, "Oh, Muani's not really the player we need." But again, it's like it's just such a negligence from this board, because if you turn around and said, instead of Muani, we had Lookman or Akliouche or one of these players that we could have got in January, right? Imagine the difference it would have been. Like if we had Lookman on the left and Akliouche on the right, like it'd be levels compared to where we are right now, because you've got two quality players. So if the reason we would go down is not just because of the poor decisions, it's because we didn't buy anyone in January. And I think the summer window, was it last summer? Not the summer that just went, the one before, where Dominic Solanke was the only senior professional that we signed going into the season, I think was just criminal. And then to do what they did again this summer and in January, again, it's just mind blowing to think how dumb you can be to not bring in seasoned professionals when we're playing the way we have been playing for the last few years. So it's just my hope is that we can keep, like, put it this way, if Bentancur gets injured and he's out now for the rest of the season, I think it's going to be very difficult for us to stay up. That's how fine line it is right now. Our chances, not even what's the word I'm looking for? Not even a definitive kind of reason for staying up is Bentancur being there. It's just a chance. But if he's not there, then I don't think we've got a chance of staying up, personally, right? And that's how crazy it is. The fact that I'm saying this and I believe this because of one player that makes a difference. But that is literally the situation at Spurs right now. It could take one player that makes a massive difference. And for me, Maddison and Bentancur, having them fit, I think could be the difference in us having the chances to stay up, to give us a fighting chance. Because if they are not fit, I don't think we've got a chance. Because I do not believe Gray, Bergvall, and Sarr have got any ability in them to do what Bentancur and Maddison can provide. So that's just the crazy nature of where we are right now. And the fact that a player that's fit in Sarr didn't even make the match day squad, what the hell does that tell you, right? To me, it tells me what I've always felt about Sarr is that he's not a fucking footballer. He's a joke, right? He can't do anything. He should be running for a relay team for his country, or he should be doing a sprint, right? But anything else when it comes to touching a football, he should be nowhere near a football. And he's one of the first ones I cannot wait to be sold at this football club, regardless of where we are in the league, regardless of where we finish, because he is a disgrace, to be honest with you. I've never seen such a poor player on a football before. Like, I've seen worse Tottenham players play better than that. He's awful. And I don't want to hear that he just runs around because he doesn't do anything with the ball, which is why De Zerbi didn't want to put him in the squad.
Yeah.
Because De Zerbi wants players who want to have the ball at feet, which is exactly why Solanke's playing. Unfortunately, that's just the cards that we've been dealt with, and that's just how we've got to try and believe in what Robert De Zerbi believes in these players, because I don't want to sit here and think that. Well, I know I'm not that I know, but I think you'd be stupid to think that De Zerbi cannot see the level of these players. He ain't stupid. He's not going to sit there and he's not going to sit there and say, "Oh, these players are not good enough." Because you're trying to motivate these players to get you out of position, right? Like Tudor, what he did, right? As a fan, it's nice to hear the truth being said. Like, we know these players are not good enough. But at the same time, you've got to do the opposite. You've got to get them on side. And like Frank towards the end was not getting them on side, right? And neither was Tudor. But De Zerbi has said, like, I believe in these players. Like, if they show me that same mentality yesterday, then I believe that they can get us out. And he even said this, I believe we can win all of our games. Like, that's the type of, I know it sounds delusional, but you've got to put that belief. You've got to go into that changing room at the end of that game and saying, this is exactly the fucking fight that I want. You fight like this, right? You fight like this, you can beat every team that you've got. You've got to make those players believe it. Like, you've got to believe, they got to believe it. And also, unfortunately, the fans have to believe it, because if you have that delusion, right, that this is where we can be, that's how you can put the positive energy into these players. And that's how De Zerbi's trying to do it, because he's not going to sit there and say, oh no, you're shit, you're not good enough, right? Because they're not going to perform at the level that they can perform at. And of course, we know that a lot of these players, their level is not good. But I do believe that they can push themselves, right, a little bit more to get us out of this situation.
Danny, I understand exactly everything that you said there, especially about the trying to make them believe, if you like. And, you know, we all sit here, we lambast them every week, and we have done for a long time. And not just the players, the whole shit show of a club, you know. I was never a professional, Danny, and I'm not going to sit here and say I was, but I played to a semi-pro level.
Yeah.
Right. And exactly what you just said there happened in our dressing room. Right. We were down the bottom of the league, and they decided they were going to change manager.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's and exactly what Danny said, we knew in our team we had players that weren't up to it.
Yeah.
Right. We knew that. Right. But I'm not joking. This geezer came in, right, said all the right things. Right, as far as what you're saying in the dressing room, make them believe, tell them they're great. You can do better than this. Yeah, Solanke scored 19 goals the other year in the Premier League. 2 or 3 a do. Be really nice. We know you can do it. Come on, son.
Yeah.
You know, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Whether the manager believes it or not, he can't be negative in the dressing room.
Yeah.
Like we can be on here. Do you know?
It's why he said, Cookie, like in the post match, he said, like, on Monday morning, I don't want to see unhappy faces, sad faces. I want to see positive faces. I want positive energy, right? Because he and like he said in the game after Sunderland, like he goes, these players they don't need a coach. They need a father figure. They need someone to put their arm. He's not stupid. He can see that, right? He's been there 2 weeks now or so. So he can see exactly what these players need. And I think that it's a shame. It is such a shame that this club are fucking so stupid, right? That they didn't bring him in when they could have brought him in at the beginning of January, because I don't think we'd be in the position that we're in right now, right? But having said all of that, like in football, no manager has ever come in to a club at this point in a league and turned it around, but there's always a first time for everything. So maybe Tottenham are definitely the team that like to be the first of a lot of bad statistics. Why can't we be the first of something positive for once? So why can't we be the first team to ever get out of a relegation situation when a manager's come in this late into a season and where we are in the table? It's not beyond the realms of possibility. This is the nature of the world. This is the nature of football.
Well, hopefully he has the same attitude when we're in the Championship as well, to be honest with you, because he says he's going to stay. But I just, at the moment, from what he said at the pre-match, I don't know if that's going to be the case at the moment anyway. But I think
I agree with you there, Alex, but I think we need to forget what could happen next season for now.
But Daniel, I'm only it's only tongue in cheek, but to be honest, you know that I'm not going to listen to that, mate, because you know I can't do that. You know what I mean? Because reality is reality for me at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, like I said, you're saying that the fans need to motivate get the players up for it. I'm sorry. I think at the moment it's down to them. And
the fans were up for it yesterday because they were putting in more fight.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You were there, Alex. You saw what the energy was like yesterday.
And this is why this is why I praise the fans. Even though I say that the most deluded fan base in the Premier League by none, I do think they did, because I was there and I was like you said before. I think they did, but I do think the players have to step up a lot, and I do think they did fight, which should be a standard. That should be a standard. But this is now on the players to see whether they can prove everybody wrong on this one. You know what I mean? For me, because they put us in this situation. De Zerbi can only do so much because he's already said it himself. That's why I wasn't really going on the bandwagon and blaming him against Sunderland for his team selection, because he's only had one week with the players. Exactly. So and again, exactly, and that's the thing, isn't it? So, and straight away he's done that. Credit to him that he left out Sarr. Because it reminds me of when Pochettino came in and he left out Hoyt, was it Hoyt? Holtby?
Oh,
who was a similar player to like Sarr, not in the sense of, I think he had a little bit more about him, but similar player, lots of energy, right? But he just said, no, I don't need that sort of player in my team. You get what I'm saying? So he's obviously got a picture of what he wants in the team. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
So to be fair to him, at least he's got that. You know what I mean? And I don't think you can really say that you're going to see De Zerbi ball now. But again, I just go back to that point, though, Danny. Unfortunately, I just don't see us winning at the moment. I think you're absolutely spot on, and I agree with you. Don't get used to it. That Bentancur and Maddison are important in this situation right now, and Xavi Simmons, right?
Yeah, and Xavi Simmons.
And I think you need to play Paulinho. My feelings on great. I don't think there. I was just about to say it. Sell them.
The only thing is,
sell Bergvall, but get money for them so we can get proper players in right now. You know what I mean?
I think players like Bergvall and Gray are good to have in the squad. You need to have young players in the squad, right? They're just they shouldn't be players, Alex. They shouldn't be players that we have to rely on if we get injuries. They should be players.
That's the problem.
We should have more Bentancurs and more Gallagher's and these level of players, not the type of player, but these level of players.
But that's the problem I have, Danny. That's the problem I have when we do have to rely on them, because it's going to be 9 times out of 10 it's going to happen again, right? I don't know if they're good enough anymore. So for me, at the moment, no emotion at all. If we're going to do the same thing with Sarr, I'm sorry, get players in. We're past this point now, Danny. We're past this point now of having passengers. And I'm not saying they're passengers. They work hard. They've got something about them, but not at Tottenham. Not at Tottenham anymore. Right? If I'm getting 50 million for him, Bergvall, if I'm getting 60 million, getting money for getting my money back for Archie Gray, get rid. I'm done with it now.
I don't agree with that because
I know you don't agree with it. That's why I'm Mr. Box Office, the person of Triple Entertainment. That's the point. I can't do anymore. I can't do anymore of praising Archie Gray because it's like a bloody trophy, Archie Gray. Archie Gray's like a bloody trophy right now. The way that we talk about Archie Gray, it's boring.
Alex, you have to be realistic, right? Tottenham are not going to sell every single player in one summer. And number two, right? You have to have youngsters in the squad. You have to have some youngsters in the squad.
Well, we got an academy, bro. We got our academy.
But Archie Gray is a good young player. He's just
based on what?
He's not at the level of a Premier League footballer right now.
Based on what?
Alex, he is a good young player.
Based on what?
Alex, I'm not going to do this argument now. Honestly, it's just pointless.
Yeah, but you arguing. Is he better than? Was he better than Harry Winks? Is he better than Harry Winks?
Well, no, because Harry Winks is in a Leicester team that's about to get relegated. Him and Skip in the central midfield of Leicester City Football Club, and they're about to get relegated to League One. So no, I don't.
So if he's playing for Leicester City right now in the Championship, Leicester City not getting relegated?
I don't know, Alex. It's a very hard thing to predict. You can't really predict
that's the point I'm making, Dan. I'm done with this. This is the reason why I'm done with this. I've seen better midfielders at Tottenham than bloody Archie Gray. But the way we talk about Archie Gray is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And since he's been in that midfield, we have one win. One win.
You're not listening. You're not listening. Right?
Go on.
I never said Archie Gray is a fantastic footballer, but you cannot sell every single player in your squad.
No, we can't.
Right?
Bro.
Archie Gray and Bergvall are players you have to keep in your squad because you need a balance. You have to have youngsters in the squad, and for someone that
if Chelsea come to ask you a question,
no, Alex, you're not listening, right? Listen to what I'm saying to you, right? You need players, right? You need a squad full of quality players with a couple of youngsters here and there. The couple of youngsters that I would keep in that squad right now is Odeberg, Gray, and Bergvall. That's it. None of the other youngsters I give a shit about, right? They're the only youngsters I would keep in a squad, but that doesn't mean they have to be players that you rely on when you get injuries, right? You need to have other players. So like yesterday, for example, if we had another level of look at Brighton's bench yesterday, who they brought on. They were able to bring on Mitoma, right? They brought on that number 10 striker who scored the goal, right? They brought on Premier League level footballers. We had youngsters to come on. That's the difference, right? You need Premier League footballers to be able to be brought on, right? When you take off a Bentancur that doesn't drop the level. But then you have one youngster maybe. If you're winning a game 2-0 and you've got 5 minutes to go, 10 minutes to go, then you bring on a Bergvall if you need a bit more energy in the midfield, right? You don't have 2 or 3 of them on the pitch. That's the difference. But you have to have them in the squad.
Well, I disagree massively as far as I'm concerned.
You can't have a squad full of 24, 25-year-olds. It doesn't work.
In the summer, regardless what happens in the summer, regardless what happens if we're up or down, if we get an offer of 20 or 30 million or 40 million for either Bergvall or Archie Gray, get rid.
Why?
Use that money to get proper players in.
And you think Spurs are going to get proper players in?
Doesn't for me? Yeah. That's a good question, Danny. That's a good rebuttal. I get you. But my point is, at the moment, right? They've had 2 years at Tottenham.
Are you trying to say that you want a squad full of 24, 25-year-olds?
Right, I got to jump. I got to get something to eat.
Yeah. All right, mate. We're finishing in a minute anyway.
Quiet, man.
Big up, Mark. But I'm saying to you right now. No, yeah, maybe I'm saying that right now, Danny. Maybe I'm saying that right now. But at the moment, I can't see.
No football club in world football has a club full of senior professionals.
I'm
You
not
have
saying
to
I'm
have
not
a
saying
mix
to that all of
because you
them, but
can't
at the
keep them
moment
all
you
happy.
can't
That's the
because
problem.
but-
The problem managers have, right, is you need to find a balance between young players and senior pros, because you can't have a team full of senior pros. It doesn't work, because you need to keep everyone happy. And if you've got like a, let me just say to you, if you've got like
no one's happy then, Daddy, because
if you've got, let's just say, a Gallagher level, say you've got John McGinn, right, and John McGinn is on the bench, right. If John McGinn is not getting games, he's going to get frustrated, because he knows that he's a Premier League level player and a top Premier League player, right? Just for example, John McGinn, right? But then you've got say another type of John McGinn in the team on the bench. You've got two of them on the bench. How are you going to keep them all happy? You can't, right? You cannot. Which is why you need a balance between young players and senior pros.
Alex,
You need to.
Go on. Sorry, Danny. Finish your point. Just before Alex comes in, I'm going to jump in. Go on. Finish your point, Danny.
No, I finished it.
Oh, sorry. Look, Alex, before you reply, a 1 minute reply, because my missus is on me. I've got a.
Oh yeah, I know.
Go on, Alex. You're fine for a minute. Go on.
Quick rebuttal. I hate this, because the thing is, this is why you have to have players to compete, so to keep people on that level. You know what I mean? And this is the problem I have. We need players to compete. We can't have players that are just coming in. Oh, they can make a mistake there, make a mistake there, make a mistake there. That's why we're 18th. That's why we're 18th in the Premier League. That's why we've not won any games since December 28th.
No, that's not. No. That's a lie, Alex. Where we are is because we're having to rely on the youngsters. This is what you're not understanding. You're not listening to what I'm saying, right? I've never said we have to use the youngsters as they need to be relied upon if we have injuries. Even if we have injuries, we should still have senior pros on the bench, right? That's what I'm saying. The youngsters, you need a couple of youngsters in your squad. If you've got Odebear, Tell, and Bergvall as the only three young players in the squad, that is fine. But you need to have seasoned professionals to be brought on, right? When you take off Bentancur, you need to have a John McGinn type on the bench. You need to have these type of players that are in the squad, and then as the last resort, you then use the Bergvalls and the Odebears. That's just what I'm saying. That these players were being relied on as our first team players because we didn't have anyone else. This is what you need to understand. There's a difference.
Well, I think we're saying the same thing there. That's what I'm saying, because we need players to compete. That's what I'm saying at the moment. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, Danny, this would be my last thing to say. Yeah. At the end of the season, when we get relegated, because we will get relegated this season, it will say Tottenham Hotspur got relegated to the Championship, right? 2025, 2026, right? It ain't going to be a question mark. It ain't going to be a star. Ain't going to be about referees. Ain't going to be anything else. It's going to be that fact. That's it.
Yeah, and that's because the board neglected the squad, and they allowed all the managers that we've had to rely on the Archie Grays and the Bergvalls and the Sars of this world, because they didn't bring in quality. That's exactly the reason why. No other reason.
On that note, we're going to leave it there, right? Sorry, chaps. I'd love this to go on for the next 2 hours, right? Because it's fascinating to me. We're going to make sure DK and Alex are back on the show soon to continue the conversation. Steve, I know you haven't said a lot while you've been on, because these lads have been having a bit of back and forth.
Watching it, guys. I've enjoyed watching it.
Steve, thanks very much for being here. Sheriff, earlier on to Nige. Listen, get over and subscribe to Alex. Get over to Nige. All these lads, everyone, if you haven't subscribed to them, get onto them. Make sure you've got your notification bells on, because this conversation could carry on soon. Big up to everyone that's been in here today. And as usual, see you soon. And come on, you Spurs.
Enoch out.
Yeah.